midnight, according to a police spokesman. The armored car was found several miles away with its 2 guards bound and gagged and the 2 sacks of money missing. The manager of Superior Armored Delivery, the police, and store officials are not saying why the cash was being transported on a Sunday night.
Harry Nile Investigations. May I tell him who's calling, please? Just one moment. Harry, it's a Mrs. Alice Culver calling.
Yeah, this is Harry Nile. What can I do for you, ma'am?
Find out what happened to my husband last night.
Is he missing?
No, he's here, but he doesn't talk. He came home late last night, and he hasn't said a word since then. Something must have happened to him.
Oh, ma'am, it sounds like you need a doctor, not a detective.
The doctor just left. Bernie wouldn't let him touch him. I've never seen anything like this before, and I'm scared. I don't know what to do. Can you help us?
The Adventures of Harry Nile. Better. Now, back to Harry Nile.
The Koblers live in a modest neighborhood near Northgate. Their house is a 1930s model with a 51 Chevy and a 1-car carport. No kid toys or wheeled goods in sight. Mrs. Kobler opens the front door. She's middle-aged, small, and tidy, like her house. In the living room, there's a man sitting in a chair, staring straight ahead like he's in a trance. She goes over to him and points at me.
Bernie, this man is a private detective. I've had to hire a private detective. Now, do you want to save us some money and tell me about last night? Are you going to talk to me, Bernie? Go ahead, you try talking to him.
Hello, Mr. Kobler. My name's Harry Nile. Can you hear me?
I don't know whether he can hear or not.
Well, maybe he could communicate by writing notes.
I tried that. He won't pick up the pencil. He won't even nod or shake his head.
Well, is there some place where you and I could talk in private?
The kitchen. Come on. I'll be right back, sweetheart.
Okay. Tell me how it started, from the beginning.
Well, last night we went to a movie like we usually do on Sunday, and we got home about 11:30, and Bernie said he was out of cigarettes and he had to drive down to an all-night drugstore to buy some. So I went to bed and went right to sleep. I usually sleep right through till morning. But last night, for some reason, I woke up just an hour later, about 12:30, and Bernie still wasn't home. Then it got to be later and later, and I was crazy with worry. I called the police. I called the hospitals. Finally, at 3 in the morning, I heard him drive in and put the car away and come in the front door, and then nothing.
What do you mean, nothing?
He didn't come into the bedroom. So I got up and I went in the front room, and there he was sitting in his chair just like he is now. I asked him if he was all right and where he'd been, but he didn't answer. He didn't say a word. And he hasn't said a word since. He didn't go to work this morning, and his dispatcher called him and wanted to talk to him, but I had to tell him Bernie was sick and he couldn't come to the phone.
Well, what sort of work does Bernie do?
He drives for Superior Armored Delivery.
Oh? You know about an armored truck that got held up last night?
Yes, I know. The police told me. It was from Bernie's company. Bernie's their senior driver. He's over all the others.
Well, have the police been here?
Oh, yes. They came first thing this morning.
Did you tell him Bernie was gone for 3 hours last night?
Well, no. They wanted to know where he was between 10 o'clock and midnight, and I told them that we were at the movie in Northgate until it let out at 11:15, and then came right home and went to bed.
You didn't tell him he took off before midnight and was gone for 3 hours?
No, they were only interested in where he was between 10 and 12.
You should have told him everything, Mrs. Colbert.
But don't you see what they'd think? I just need to find out where he was between midnight and 3 in the morning. I know he didn't have anything to do with the holdup.
All right. How long has your husband been working there?
10 years. He just got his 10-year pin. He wouldn't touch a penny that didn't belong to him. Mr. Nile, just find out what happened to him between midnight and 3 a.m.
Dr. Jensen at this end?
Yeah, hi, Doc. It's Harry Nile.
Harry! You're in trouble again?
Probably.
Good, then you're normal. Hey, young man, when are they gonna go out to lunch to a real Scandinavian restaurant? I know a good one in Ballard.
Would I have to eat lutefisk?
No, but you might have to watch me eat lutefisk.
Oh. Well, I've never tried to eat with a clothespin on my nose.
It's the first time for everything, you know. So what's on your mind? And I use that term loosely.
Well, I got a question for you. Can a person have an experience that shocks him into silence?
You mean like being electrocuted?
No. This guy just sits there and doesn't say a word. His wife thinks he had some kind of experience last night that caused it, and she wants me to find out what it was.
Has he seen the doctor?
Well, apparently, he won't let a doctor examine him.
Was he unconscious?
No, he just can't talk. Can't or won't.
Maybe he just doesn't have anything to say.
So, could a person have an experience that shocks him into silence?
That'd be pretty rare, unless he has other symptoms. Any paralysis? Any sign of stroke?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Could he be faking?
That was my first thought.
Tell you what I always did when the patient would come in pretending to be sick. I'd give him a big dose of cod liver oil. See, I think I stashed a jug of that down in the cellar before I retired in '49. It ought to be pretty mellow by now.
The only reason I wouldn't make Bernie Colber a suspect in the armored car stick-up is, well, the timing isn't right. He was sitting in a theater with his wife when the crime was going down on the other side of town. Still, there has to be some connection between what he was doing from midnight to 3 and his coming home a mute. Now I'm scratching for any scrap of evidence. Mrs. Colber, it's Harry Nile again.
Yes, Mr. Nile?
After I left your place, I remembered something I meant to ask you. Can he hear you?
No, he can't hear me. I brought the phone into the kitchen while I'm fixing lunch.
Was there an extension he might pick up?
In this little house, no. We only have one phone and a long cord.
Okay, here's why I called. I need you to collect whatever was in his pockets when he got home last night.
I can't. He's still wearing what he wore yesterday.
Oh, he is? Well, was he wearing a coat?
Let me think. Yes, his zipper jacket. Now, what did he do with it? I know I saw it somewhere. Oh, I know. It was in the clothes hamper in the bathroom. I'll go get it.
I'll hold on.
I'll be right back.
What'd she say?
She says he's still wearing the clothes he wore Sunday.
Oh, yuck.
Except for a jacket. I'm hoping he might have left a ticket stub or a ferry ticket. Anything that might tell us where he went Sunday night.
But wouldn't he have gotten rid of those things before he came back home?
It's a long shot, but we've got to check it out.
All right. I have his jacket.
Okay, check the pockets.
I'm doing that right now. Here's a box of matches in one pocket and a gas station receipt, and the other pocket's empty.
What gas station was it?
Highway Super Service, 12160 Highway 99 South.
What's the date on it?
Let's see. It's from last night, May 5th, 11:55 p.m.
Is that where he usually buys gas?
No. He goes to a flying A station down on 45th.
So if he left home just after 11, like you said, he must have driven directly to the gas station. But why that station, way across town? What else does the receipt say?
It says he bought 10 gallons of gas and a pack of cigarettes.
And there's nothing in the other pocket?
I'll check it again. Oh, there is something. Just a little scrap of paper. It looks like the corner torn out of a newspaper page. Wait, there's something written on it. If I can make it out, it looks like 36B. Sounds like a bra size.
Yeah, or a room number. Is it in Bernie's handwriting?
It could be. It looks like Bernie's ballpoint pen. There's not enough writing for me to tell.
Well, it was important enough for him to save it. Do you keep your newspapers or throw them out every day?
All of last week's papers are out on the back porch.
Is there an alley behind your house?
Yes.
Does the porch have a back door?
Yes.
All right, I'm coming by in a few minutes to pick up those papers. You just leave the door unlocked. And Mrs. Colber.
Yes?
Take that little piece of paper and put it in an envelope and leave it on top of the newspapers. It could be important. It's dark by the time I get to the Colber's back door. I pick up the small stack of newspapers and take them with me back to Pioneer Square and open up my office. It doesn't take 5 minutes to find a page with the corner torn off. Yep, it matches the scrap of paper from Bernie's jacket. So, what have I got? What's the significance of 36B? Well, in the next few hours, I'm about to find out.
Harry Nile Investigations. One moment. Harry, it's Mrs. Culber again.
Good morning, Mrs. Culber.
Mr. Nile, good news. Bernie spoke to me. I brought him his breakfast, and all of a sudden he started talking, and he explained everything, and he's gone back to work. So I'm calling to say I won't be needing you any longer.
Well, I'm glad for you, Mrs. Culber. I'd like to hear his story.
Well, like I said, I won't be needing you anymore.
Mrs. Culber, I found the newspaper that piece was torn from, and I think it could help.
No, Mr. Nile, I don't want you to do any more. And I have to tell you, Bernie was pretty put out at me for hiring you.
Well, you can tell him I'm not going to charge for my services.
You're not?
No, but in place of my fee, I'd like some answers. Can I drop over for a few minutes this morning?
I know it sounds a little crazy, but it seems Bernie ran into this old high school friend he hadn't seen for years when he went out to buy cigarettes. And they got to talking, and then they drove back to the motel where his friend was staying. And it turns out his friend's very rich now. He's a millionaire.
Is that so?
Yes, he's a professional gambler. He lives in Las Vegas. And they got to talking, and his friend said...
Excuse me. Does this friend have a name?
Oh, it was, what did he tell me? Oh, yes, Grant Mansfield. Bernie knew him when they both went to Franklin High. They were best friends. Anyway, he and Bernie really hit it off, and then Mr. Mansfield told him he'd cut him in on some of his winnings if Bernie would take a bet.
A bet on what?
He bet Bernie $1,000 that he couldn't keep still and not talk or communicate in any way with anyone for 24 hours. Well, Bernie has always loved challenges. He used to race his hot rod, and he'd bet on the horses at Long Acres, $2, $3 here and there. So he took the bet, and now he's won $1,000, and that's why he couldn't talk to me, or he'd have lost the bet.
Wait a minute. How could this Grant Mansfield have known whether Bernie kept quiet or not?
He told Bernie that if he cheated, he would know about it. But now I can see why Bernie didn't want anyone to make him talk or write notes. He could have lost the $1,000, and we can really use the money, believe me.
Yeah, but how would Mansfield know if Bernie cheated?
Well, I don't know. I guess he put Bernie on his honor. He said he'd be able to tell if Bernie lied to him.
And Bernie hadn't seen Mansfield since
they graduated from Franklin High in 1938.
And after almost 20 years, this guy could tell if Bernie was lying?
I don't know, Mr. Nile. I'm only telling you what Bernie told me.
And was it Mansfield who Bernie went to see this morning?
That's right, to pick up his winnings.
Well, Mrs. Culber, excuse me, but this whole thing is pretty hard to believe.
I know my husband, Mr. Nile, and he wouldn't lie to me.
Well, it doesn't take Sherlock Holmes to know Bernie's pulling a fast one, so I can't drop the case until I find out what he's been up to. She lets me borrow a framed photo of the Culbers that she kept on the mantel, and on the way back to my office, I stop at the library and I find just what I wanted in the reference section. Hey, Murphy. Say, don't make up a bill for Mrs. Culber.
Oh, why not?
Well, her husband started talking this morning.
He did? What was wrong with him?
He claimed he was winning a $1,000 bet by staying silent for 24 hours.
Do you believe that?
No, but now I'm off the case, darn it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Harry Nile Investigations. Oh, hello, Dr. Jensen. Do you want to talk with Harry? Yes, he's right here. I won't tell him you said that.
I'll take it in my office. I need to sit down and put my feet up. Hello, you old pill pusher.
I love you too. Have you solved that there mystery yet?
Yeah, the man who wouldn't talk started talking this morning.
What'd he say?
I wasn't there. But he gave his wife a fantastic story about a $1,000 bet he won by keeping his lip zipped.
But you're not buying it.
No, but she is. Or she says she is.
Well, I've been checking around. I found out that cases of involuntary loss of speech aren't that rare after all. but they're connected with some physical or emotional condition. And one symptom is when they can't speak, the patient becomes distraught, frustrated, even panicky over losing his ability to talk. That sound like your man?
No, that's not Bernie Colbert. He was calm and cool as a cucumber. I think he's part of the heist, and I know he lied to his wife, but she's got her eyes on that $1,000, and she doesn't want to hear anything against him. So she fired me off the case.
So you're a man of leisure again, eh?
No, I'm just working for free.
Now you know why I quit my practice. I make more money on the golf course. Speaking of which, I got to get over to Broadmoor and playing 3 Republicans at noon. See you, Harry.
Hey, Murphy, is this your copy of last night's paper on my desk?
Yes, it's got more information on the robbery.
Oh. Let's see. Yeah, armored car holdup nets over $20,000. 2 guards injured. Cash and checks worth more than $20,000 belonging to Kavanaugh's department store were taken in the holdup of an armored car Sunday night. The driver and a guard, both employed by Superior Armored Delivery, were treated for minor injuries at Harborview Hospital and released. Police reported that the 2 men were bound with duct tape and left in the back of the truck, which had been driven to a remote spot south of Boeing Field. A police spokesman called on anyone with information about the crime to come forward.
Why do you think Bernie Colbert was in on it?
Well, he was in the vicinity of the stick-up just before midnight, and he has no alibi. Instead, he pretends he can't talk. And when he does start talking, he comes up with this crazy gimmick about his old high school buddy offering him $1,000 if he can keep quiet for 24 hours.
But the morning paper said the stick-up happened between 10 and midnight, and his wife says they were at a movie until 11:15.
Yeah, so she says. You know, I think I'll go over to the Northgate Theater myself and see if anyone remembers the Colberts. In the lobby, I show an usher the photo of the Colberts, and he remembers them immediately. Because Sunday night, after the last showing, Bernie and his wife came out of the movie and spilled a bag of popcorn in the lobby, then made a big fuss about wanting to help clean it up. Bernie could have done that to make sure his alibi was remembered. I start to leave, and something catches my eye. Anyone leaving the lobby couldn't miss it. Just like that, I see how Bernie Colbert's mind was working. But who's going to listen to me? I'm off the case.
Harry Nile will be back in a minute. Now, back to Harry Nile.
So, now, by all rights, I should stop wasting my time. I'm not getting paid to find the answers. But I put in a call to one of my pals in robbery homicide, Lieutenant Nick Bolano.
Lieutenant Bolano isn't here. Can anyone else help you?
Well, maybe so. This is Harry Nile. I'm a PI, and I think I can help on that armored car case. So if I could talk to some officer who's investigating it.
And just how can you help?
Well, I have some background on one of the suspects.
Okay, I'll leave a message for Lieutenant Bolano. What was your name again?
Nile. Harry Nile. Main 56380. Look, tell him I can poke a hole in Colbert's alibi. Tell him I'll be down at the armored car garage, solving the case.
Very good, Mr. Nile. I'll leave a message.
Yeah, Bolano knows me. We've worked... Rats. It's 6 p.m. now and getting dark. I hunt up the headquarters of Superior Armored Delivery, which is down south of the airport, and I hang out on a side street until they've closed up for the night. I can see 6 armored vans parked in a big open garage at the back of a compound. There's a chain-link fence around the property, and one of the vans has yellow crime scene tape stretched all over it. So that's the truck the bandits hit. The trucks have consecutive license plate numbers from 20831B to 20836B, and the plate 36B is on the truck with the police tape around it. 36B? I dig out the envelope and check out the little triangle of newspaper. As I do, a car comes out from behind the garage and drives right up to the gate, and I recognize the driver. Bernie Colbert, right? Yeah, I'm Harry Nile. We met in your house yesterday.
I know who you are. Why are you hanging around down here?
Oh, I'm just looking around, trying to get some answers. Your case raises some interesting questions.
Didn't my wife tell you? You're not on my case anymore.
Yeah, she said you explained everything to her.
And she told you she wouldn't need you anymore, right?
Well, I understand that. Say, this is some car. It looks lower than a stock 51 Chevy. Did you customize it a little?
A little? I dropped the suspension 2 inches, sectioned the body 2 inches, reupholstered the inside. It's got a small block V8 from a 55. Full race cam. It's been ported and relieved. It's got a short throw tranny and a 2-speed rear end.
Whoa. Look, I got to check this out.
Some other time. I'm on my way home.
Say, Bernie, just to satisfy my curiosity, I'd like to know something about this guy called Grant Mansfield. Now, your wife said you were with him Sunday night, and she said something about a $1,000 bet you made with him. Said you and he were long-lost buddies.
Yeah, we went to school together before the war. So what?
Here in Seattle?
Yeah, Franklin High.
Well, when did you and Mansfield graduate from Franklin?
1938.
1938? Wow. It's a funny thing. I went to the library this morning and dug up a copy of the Franklin High School yearbook for 1938. I saw your picture. I read about how you built a hot rod and auto shop, but there was no one named Grant Mansfield anywhere in the yearbook.
Oh, yeah. He changed his name.
Oh. Well, what was his original name?
I forget. No, I gotta go.
Bernie, come on. I mean, seriously. Why would anyone make a bet like Mansfield made?
Because he likes to gamble, okay? Now, I don't need to answer any more of your questions.
Well, I thought maybe I could buy you a drink and we could talk.
My wife's waiting dinner at home.
Oh, well, sure. It is getting to be that time, I guess. Oh, hey, before you go, could you open your trunk for me?
Why?
Well, I'd like to see what you've done to it.
I didn't do anything to it. It's stock Chevrolet.
You didn't put in any special upholstering? No pouches, no false floor, no hollowed-out spare tire?
What is it with you? You think you got something on me?
You can prove I'm wrong just by opening the trunk.
I don't have to prove anything to you.
So maybe the loot is still in there, waiting to be divided with the guys who were in on it with you.
Well, you're out of your skull.
You must have worried when you got home at 3 a.m. the night of the robbery and found your wife still awake. How would you explain where you'd been?
Niall, you're starting to tick me off.
But you came up with a novel idea. If you said absolutely nothing when you got home, you wouldn't have to invent an excuse. That's when you got the idea for the $1,000 bet, right? But then you need to come up with a name for the guy who made you the bet. And then 2 names popped into your head. Names you'd seen only a few hours before.
Okay, wise guy, I'm gonna let you look in the trunk. And then I don't want to see your face around me or my wife ever again. See anything that looks like $20,000 in there?
Nope. Well, guess I was wrong. I feel really bad about this, Bernie. Please accept my apologies.
Some detective you are. Now, I've got to lock the gate, and you, take off.
But I don't drive home. Instead, I drive to police headquarters where I sit and wait for Detective Lieutenant Bolano. And when he finally shows up, I tell him I've solved the armored car case. And he allows me a slight smile.
You found the stolen money?
No, but the crime lab has the duct tape that was used to bind the armored car guards. They should be able to match it to the roll of tape I saw in the trunk of Bernie's car.
But Harry, the Colberts have an alibi for where they were Sunday night when the holdup happened.
Yeah, that's right. But Bernie's job wasn't to steal the money from the department store. His job was to stage the holdup of the armored car so it would look like the robbers were robbed. He had to meet them where they hid the truck, tie them up with a duct tape, then leave them to be discovered by the cops.
But what about the money they stole?
The police will find it. After all, I gave them the 3 Stooges.
But can they prove Bernie was in on it?
Bernie planned it. You know how I know? He jotted down the license number of the truck that would be carrying the money, and he wrote it on the corner of a newspaper page he'd torn from a newspaper dated May 2nd, 3 days before the heist went down. That gave him time to arrange the work shifts of the guards who were in on it.
Okay, one last question. What made you suspect that his story of the $1,000 bet was bogus?
Because the name he gave the non-existent gambler.
Grant Mansfield?
That's right. As Bernie left the theater Sunday night, he must have seen the huge poster advertising the coming attraction. The name stuck in his mind, so when he needed a name to call his millionaire pal, his subconscious came up with it.
What's the movie?
The movie's called Kiss Them For Me, and the stars are Cary Grant and Jane Mansfield.
Oh, hence Grant Mansfield.
Hence?
You have heard The Case of the Bogus Better, tonight's adventure with Harry Nile. In the title role was Larry Albert, with Pat French as Murphy. Also in our cast were Valerie Manchez, Gary Swartz, Jim French, and Jay Green. Sound effects were by Cheryl Jacobs. Pat French directed. Our engineer was Jason Shavey. This is Jay Green speaking.
The Adventures of Harry Nile. Songs.
Mr. Nile, I hope you'll forgive my dropping in without an appointment like this.
Well, it just so happens you're in luck. You caught me between cases.
Way between.
Take a seat, Mr.
Valley. Morgan Valley.
Morgan Valley? I know that name.
I don't think we've ever met, miss.
Oh, Murphy has a photographic memory. If she's seen your name written down somewhere, it's stored away in that red-headed noggin.
Doesn't your company publish Astounding Detective magazine?
Why, yes, I believe it does.
I just love detective stories.
Do you read the magazine?
Oh, I'm afraid I had to cancel my subscription about a year ago. I didn't get that raise I was counting on.
I'll have a word with Miss Bauer at the office and arrange for some back issues to be sent to you.
Well, that would be wonderful. Thank you, Mr. Valley.
So you want to hire a real detective, Mr. Valley?
I suppose I do. My situation is a little unusual.
It usually is.
Last May, I bought my wife a diamond necklace for our anniversary. A couple of days ago, I was informed that the necklace exactly matches the description of one that was stolen in San Francisco the previous April. You see the problem?
Uh-huh. You could be facing a charge for receiving stolen goods.
If it's the same necklace. But, yes.
But if you bought it from a legitimate jeweler,
That's
then...
the problem, Miss Murphy.
Oh, it's just Murphy.
Yes. You see, I bought the necklace from a friend of a friend. Actually, more like an acquaintance of an acquaintance.
I don't suppose either of these acquaintances has a name?
I'd rather not get into that.
Uh-huh.
A jeweler friend of mine has a country place on Vashon Island. He's agreed to take a look at it there in strictest confidence and give me his opinion. If it is the San Francisco necklace, then it goes into the Sound.
But you could always send it back to the original owners.
I'm sorry, Miss Murphy. Murphy, but I can't risk that.
Well, it sounds like you've got all the angles covered, Mr. Valley. Much as I hate to say this, what do you need me for?
Maybe I'm worrying too much, but say I get pulled over for speeding or a broken taillight or something. The police find the necklace, make a few calls.
So why not hire a courier?
It's far too risky.
So I take the risk?
For which you'll be well paid. Shall we say $1,000 retainer?
Yeah, let's say that. Murphy tells me it's not appropriate to dance a jig on my desk when a client mentions money, so I wait until Valley leaves the office. We arrange to meet outside his apartment building at 7:30 sharp. Take a necklace from point A to point B. What could possibly go wrong? If I'm planning on making a good impression, I should spruce up. So I pick up my other suit from the dry cleaners. Once I've changed, I call Murphy at the office.
I noticed you took your 38 from the drawer.
Don't panic, Murph. I'm not planning on using it.
You won't mind if I stay up and worry all the same.
Try listening to the radio or something. Take your mind off me.
You have a very low sense of self-esteem, Harry.
That's why I carry a gun. Sorry.
You should be. Maybe I'll do a little reading till I hear from you. Those back issues of Astounding Detective showed up.
Pretty fast.
Whole year's worth, except for issue 66. I guess they were out of that one.
Well, enjoy.
I plan to. You want to read them when I'm done?
No, thanks. After the case of the crying corpse, I'm done with crime fiction. Life isn't like a story, Murphy.
I'll get out here, thanks. Mr. Nile, sorry I'm late. Advertiser problems, you understand.
Not really.
You just get here yourself?
A couple of minutes ago.
Okay, just give me a second to pay off the cab and we can go up together. And remember, if my wife asks, you're a courier.
Courier, right.
She'll be here in a moment.
Uh-huh. Hey, what happened to your lock?
What the? It looks like it's been...
All right. You stay out here. I'm going inside.
Laura?
I thought I told you to stay outside.
Damn it, Niall, my wife is at home. Laura? Laura! Oh, my God! Laura!
Mr. Valley.
It's Laura, Mr. Nile. I think she can't be.
She's dead, Mr. Valley. Someone strangled her.
Okay, Nile, who'd you kill this time?
Oh, great. Detective Meeker, this is Mr. Morgan Valley. His wife was murdered tonight.
Oh, you're right. I'm very sorry for your loss, sir.
Thank you.
Rest assured we'll do everything to catch the guy, man, responsible. Let's get out of here, Nile. Your client's depressing me.
You're all heart, Meeker.
Okay, it's pretty obvious how this thing plays out. A is planning to break into B's apartment, thinks B is out because the lights are off, but Mrs. B is just turned in early.
She had a name, you know. Laura Valley.
I always use A and B. Okay, so B breaks into the apartment, wakes up Mrs. A.
I thought A was breaking into B's apartment.
Who's telling this story? There's a struggle. A kills B, or B kills A, whatever. Then he grabs what he can and hightails it out of there. Now, this place has a doorman, and he never saw a thing. So X must have used the service elevator.
Who the heck is X?
Are you paying attention?
I don't know, Meeker. It seems to me...
Don't you worry your pretty little head about it, Nile. Whoever killed Valley's wife, we'll get him.
Lieutenant, we got him.
Hear that, Nile? Your tax dollars in action.
Down here.
You get a name out of him, McGavin?
Didn't get anything out of him. He's dead, sir.
Dead? What do you mean, dead?
You still here? What do you mean, Dad?
Looks like he fell down the stairs and broke his neck.
So, I guess we can rule out Einstein for a name, huh?
We haven't touched him, sir, but you can see where some of the jewelry spilled out of that bag.
Oh, yeah. Hey, I know this customer. Cy Kramer, one of the best second-story men in the business. Long time, Cy. Okay, call the coroner, McGavin. With luck, we'll all be home by midnight.
Meeker, you can't be serious.
You see this badge? It means I can be whatever I want to be.
You know the war is over, right? They can get parts for your head now.
Shut up, McGavin.
Yes, sir.
Don't go believing your own worthless reputation, Nile. Ain't you got some garbage cans to be looking under?
If he took the service elevator up here, why did he take the stairs to get out? Wouldn't he run into the doorman?
Hey, who cares? We got the killer, we got the jewelry. Sounds like a pretty good night's work to me. Okay, McGavin, get him wrapped up. We'll take him to go.
It's pretty clear that Meeker and his sense of self-satisfaction are very happy together, and they don't need me cutting in. So I head back to the Valley's apartment. But I take the time to check out the service elevator. According to the dial above the door, it's on first. If Cy Kramer took it up here, who took it down again? Well, even with someone like Meeker on the case, it takes a few hours before the cops clear out, taking the bodies of Laura Valley and Cy Kramer with them. But eventually, it's just me and my client.
This is all some sick nightmare. I keep thinking that any minute now I'm going to wake up and Laura will be here.
I understand how you feel, Mr. Valley. I really do.
Call me Morgan, Harry. You've earned it.
Morgan, do you have any family you can stay with tonight? Because believe me, you don't want to be here.
I suppose I could call my sister. What now?
Mr. Valley, we need to talk.
Who are you?
My name is Jake Gillespie. I was one of the writers on Astounding Detective.
Jake Gillespie. Why do I know
well,
that name?
We had some correspondence last year when I wanted that raise.
Yes, of course. You sent me the photostats of your bank statements.
Yeah, because I needed you to understand my financial situation.
This isn't the best time.
Well, this morning, my latest Doghouse Riley story came back to me unread. When I called Miss Bauer at the magazine, she said my material was no longer required.
I don't get involved in editorial matters. I just pay the bill.
Well, I'm far and away the best writer you have. So my question to you is why? Why are you treating me like this? What have I done to deserve this? I'm sorry, but I think I deserve an answer, and I think I deserve it from you.
My wife just died, Jake.
Died? You mean... Wow. This is probably a bad time. Yeah, this is definitely a bad time. I'll come back tomorrow. Should I call first?
Yes, call first, Jake.
Okay, sorry for your loss.
I should go after him.
Save yourself the trouble, Harry. Jake's harmless.
No trouble, Morgan. This one's on the house. So I tail Jake Gillespie, which is pretty easy since he's on foot. And he walks, and walks, and walks. And eventually he walks into a bar that's a mite snug-fitting.
What'll it be, fellas?
My usual Stan.
Yeah, I'll have the same.
Hey, are you following me?
Yeah?
For how long? I mean, like, for years? Because, ever since I was a kid, I felt
Just
like people...
sit down, Jake. I want to talk to you.
Who are you?
I'm a private detective. My name's Harry Nile.
No kidding. I never wrote anyone like you.
Here you go, Jake. Your usual.
Your usual is milk?
I never touch alcohol. It makes me unreasonable.
Uh-huh. And barging into your publisher's home late at night, that seems reasonable to you.
Well, I have a legitimate grievance. I assumed Mr. Valley would respect my initiative. Probably would have if his wife hadn't died.
You don't seem too concerned about that.
I have problems of my own. I can't get wrapped up in other people's concerns.
Don't you want to know how she died?
Not really. Aren't you going to drink your milk?
She was strangled, Jake. Someone entered the apartment building by the service elevator, picked the lock, and killed Laura Valley while she was taking a nap.
The service... Do they suspect anyone?
Yeah, a housebreaker named Cy Kramer was found on the stairwell with his neck broken.
Oh my gosh, I gotta go.
Jake?
No, don't follow me. Get away from me.
Hey, come back. Hey, mister, you gonna pay for that milk?
It takes me nearly a full day to track down Jake Gillespie's apartment, but I'm too late. He's packed up his typewriter and left for parts unknown. Meanwhile, Murphy calls Ethel Bauer, the editor of Astounding Detective, to find out whatever she can about Jake.
You get those back issues, hon?
Yes, thank you. I'm really enjoying them.
Don't know how much longer we're going to keep publishing. TV's killing us. Why take the trouble to read when you can watch Jack Webb catch the bad guys for free? Illiterate jerks.
I prefer Dragnet when it was on the radio. I didn't know about your problem, Miss Bauer. Mr. Valley never mentioned it.
Oh, isn't it terrible about his wife, though? I can't hardly believe it. Makes you think, huh? Anyway, was you wanting to leave a message for Mr. Valley? Because he never comes around the office, you know.
Actually, I wanted to ask you about one of your writers, Jake Gillespie.
Oh, Jake, yeah. Wrote the Doghouse Riley stories. We used him since issue 66. The kid was good with plot, but he could be a little flowery, you know? I kept telling him people want to read English like it spoke.
You're an editor?
Overqualified, if you ask me, but a gal's gonna take what she can get. Between you, me, and the operator, the kid was a little strange. Sent me roses when we published his first story. And whenever we turned one down, I'd get at least 10 calls every day demanding I explain why. Couldn't get any work done. Eventually I decided enough was enough.
So you fired him?
Not in so many words. I told him the order had come from on high that we couldn't use him anymore. If he had any questions, he was to take them up with Mr. Valley, the owner, knowing there's no way he could get in touch with Valley.
Do you think that was wise? I mean, if Jake's as odd as you say, then...
He'll get over it. He's young. I mean, what's he gonna do?
Murphy, I'm back.
I'll have to go, Miss Bauer. Nice speaking to you.
Oh, don't let me keep you, hon.
Well, I hope you had more luck than I did.
I haven't learned anything you didn't already know. Jake hasn't written for Astounding since issue 66. Probably blames Valley for the fact. Well, there's your motive.
Yeah. But where does Cy Kramer come into it? I mean, did he just happen to break into the Valley's apartment the night Jake went there with murder on his mind?
Well, maybe Jake and Kramer knew one another.
No way. Kramer could have worn him like a watch charm. It's wrong, Murph. It's every shade of wrong.
So, what are you going to do about it?
Well, I don't know I should do anything about it. Valley never said he wanted me to look into his wife's murder, and Meeker's pretty certain he's got it all wrapped up. Yeah, what the heck. I haven't got anything else to do.
Well, that's not the reason, Harry.
Well, that'll be our little secret. I don't suppose Valley's going to be in his office for a while.
When you do see him, tell him thank you for the back issues.
Now, I'm not sure to give him much comfort, but... Hey, wait a minute. Didn't you say you were missing one?
That's right. Issue 66. Why?
I'm not sure. I'm going to see if I can get a hold of a copy for you.
Harry, I'm always pleased to see a friendly face, but I really don't know what else there is to do. Laura's killer is dead. I just have to get on with my life, throw myself into my work.
Well, maybe that's for the best. I hear all your titles are having a tough time.
The market's a cutthroat place nowadays. Before the war, it was all different.
The night of your wife's murder, Morgan, why did you press the apartment buzzer?
Why? Because I wanted to get in, obviously. Why else?
But it's your apartment. Why not just use your key?
What exactly are you trying to say, Harry?
I think you wanted me to discover that broken lock. That's what I was there for, to back up your story.
Back up my story? What story?
You killed her, Morgan. You killed your own wife.
You've got some nerve, Nile. What the hell gives you the right?
This gives me the right. I finally got hold of a copy of issue 66 of Astounding Detective magazine, the one you didn't want me to see. You gave Miss Bauer special instructions not to send it to my office. Well, I got one anyway. And there it was, plain as day.
There what was?
If I Should Die Before I Live by Jake Gillespie. It's the story of your wife's murder, word for word, but I guess you already read it.
How dare you?
You wanted it to look like a robbery gone bad, and you needed a stooge to back up your version of how it happened. That's why you hired me. Not to carry some stolen necklace across town. You hired Cy Kramer to break into your apartment just like the killer in Jake's story. But you see, Cy wasn't alone. You were with him.
I was working late at the office. I got out of the cab, and we walked into the apartment building together, remember?
I tracked down the cab that dropped you off. Driver told me he picked you up only a block away. You and Kramer both went up in the service elevator. Kramer picked the lock and took the valuables, while you killed your wife.
If Jake Gillespie concocted the story of my wife's murder, like you say, then I think it'd be fairly obvious to a trained detective that Jake Gillespie also killed my wife. The boy's unbalanced. You spoke to him.
You went up in the service elevator with Kramer, not Jake. You killed Kramer and your wife, not Jake. Then you took the service elevator back down again, walked about a block, and hailed the cab. But you forgot to send the elevator back up.
I did what?
Jake plotted out this whole caper for your magazine. See, I doubt he'd do anything so dumb.
Don't count on it. Jake is a rather unreliable character. His stories may be smart, but the man himself, not so much.
All right, there's just one other thing. In Jake's story, the husband did it. Yeah, that's the part you played right there in black and white with illustrations.
Then clearly Jake's trying to frame me.
Well, that's pretty smart for a guy who's not so smart. If this was his plan, why did he skip town as soon as he realized how much your wife's death resembled his story? And I'm having a tough time imagining a weed like Jake breaking the neck of a tough guy like Cy Kramer. Well, you look in pretty good shape, Mr. Valley.
All right. Say it happened the way you think. Why did I do all this?
Money. Your business is going under, and I found out your wife was heavily insured.
You really think I'd kill my wife of 16 years for money?
Well, I don't think you and the missus were as close as you used to be. I'm assuming, for instance, she didn't know about Miss Joan Hudson on Rainier Avenue.
You've been following me.
Well, that's what detectives do, Mr. Valley. You should know that.
But they're not supposed to follow their own clients.
Why quit? Oh, didn't I mention that? It's pretty neat on paper. Jake's the perfect patsy. If anything goes wrong, you can always pin Laura's murder on him. A phony robbery, the death of the criminal, and you get all your jewelry back. But can you take a little constructive criticism?
Go on.
The necklace you originally hired me to take to Vashon Island. Whatever happened to that? Kramer didn't have it on him when they found his body, and Murphy checked the San Francisco newspapers. She couldn't find anything about a jewel robbery last April. And what do you want to bet there are no jewelers with country places on the island?
So what?
So this morning I told Detective Meeker all I know. He's not too bright, but once you get hold of an idea, he never lets go. You'll be hearing from him.
Am I supposed to be impressed? A good lawyer would tear your case to shreds, and I have a very good lawyer. Life isn't like a story, Mr. Nile.
You know, I said that to a friend of mine just the other day. For your wife's sake, I hope I'm wrong.
This is where it'll go, Harry. Right at the end of the pier. There'll be a view of Elliott Bay from every seat in the place.
Boy, talk about a perfect location for a restaurant. When are you going to start construction?
Well, actually, the building was built over 20 years ago. It was a restaurant in Portland, the River Plantation, looking out over the Columbia River. And I bought it, and I'll have it moved up here on a barge. Picture this, Harry. You walk in, and the hostess, a Polynesian girl, of course, will hang a flower lei around your neck and show you to your table, while Hawaiian guitars and drums play softly in the background, and the fragrance of tropical flowers drifts through the place.
That's poetry.
And the menu will be Polynesian and Asian, with the best stock bar this side of the Royal Hawaiian. And I'm going to get Alfred Apaka for opening week. He's the Bing Crosby of Hawaii, you know.
Do you have a name for it?
The Outrigger.
Outrigger. Isn't there another place with that name?
Not in Seattle.
Well, when's it going to open?
We're shooting for an opening in December, if it's still here.
I don't get you.
Well, here's the reason I got in touch with you. Somebody's threatened to burn the place down before I can open it.
It's a blustery day in Seattle. Chilly winds blow in from Puget Sound, promising more rain. On this October afternoon, Harry stands at the end of a downtown pier with Malcolm Knight, owner of 5 of the city's most successful restaurants. And now they're down on the waterfront, where the compact, smartly tailored man reveals the reason for the meeting.
You're kidding. Someone's threatening to torch the place?
That's why I wanted us to meet. Take a look at what hit my desk last week.
Mr. Knight, the waterfront doesn't need another high-toned watering trough. Build your ego booster somewhere else and leave the working piers alone, or you'll never open. All you'll have is ashes. You have been warned. Now, let's see. No signature. There's no stamp on the envelope. How'd you get it?
It came in with the office mail.
Well, maybe he knows if he sent an extortion note through the mail and got caught, he'd do federal time.
Yeah. Now, Harry, I'm not buckling under to some jerk who's got it in for me because I've made something of myself. That's what this really is, you know. Jealousy. Envy. If 5 will get you 10, this guy's a down and outer. A loser.
With an electric typewriter.
You can use one at the public library for nothing.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, have you reported this to the police?
Oh, no. You get the police in it. The papers pick it up. I don't need that kind of publicity.
Well, sounds like he resents people with money. That part about the high-toned watering trough. And he says leave the working piers alone. So, it could be a stevedore or a longshoreman.
No. Now, they'd know this isn't a freight pier, and it hasn't been for a long time. Look, I'm not destroying jobs, I'm creating them. So I want you to find out who this character is.
I'll give it my best shot.
Well, that's all I ask. Welcome to Knight Enterprises. Consider yourself on the payroll. Where do you want to start?
Do you use electric typewriters in your office?
Come on, you don't think this was done by any of our people.
Well, how'd the letter get into your office mail?
That I couldn't say.
Well, then right off the top, let's clear everyone on your staff.
Everyone? I've got 5 restaurants and 150 employees.
Oh, okay. How many people work in your head office?
5, not counting me.
So I need to compare the typing on the threat letter with the typing from your machines. And another thing, I need to know if you fired anyone in, say, last year or so.
I haven't let anyone go, but I'll check with my restaurant managers. And I'll have copies of the letter typed on our machines for you to pick up this afternoon. Now, we ought to get back. I've got a lot on my desk.
Say, would you mind putting the top up? I almost froze to death on the way down here.
Well, I'd rather not, because we need the air. There's a fuel leak somewhere, and I haven't had a chance to get it into the shop and have it looked at. This is a classic, Harry. Jaguar XK120, built in 1948. You ever handled a case like this one, Harry?
Well, not exactly like this, but I've handled a lot of extortion cases.
Did you always catch the guy?
No.
The waterfront doesn't need another high-toned watering trough.
Yeah. What does that say to you about the writer, Murphy?
Well, whoever wrote this had a good vocabulary and a grasp of modern American idioms.
Come again?
High-toned and watering trough are both idiomatic expressions. And I think that would rule out someone who works for a low pay and a menial job.
Okay, he's not just a slob, he's an educated slob. Next, build your ego booster somewhere else. Another idiom?
Well, this person resents Mr. Knight, so this is more than an extortion letter. It's a personal attack, an insult.
Right. Chances are he knows Knight, and he's had some kind of dealings with him, and he doesn't like him. Well, thanks, Murph. Now I gotta go over to his office and check on those typed letters.
You're Mr. Nile?
That's right.
I'm sorry we kept you waiting. Things are a little hectic around here, as I'm sure you understand. I'm Nancy Knight, Malcolm's wife. Malcolm called and said you'd be stopping by.
Well, it's good to meet you, Mrs. Knight.
I'm sorry it had to be under such bad circumstances. Isn't this a terrible thing?
Yes, ma'am. But with your help, we'll have a good chance to find out who's behind it. Now, about the letter.
Yes. Here. This is the original letter, which you've seen.
Yes.
And these are the ones that I typed on our electric machines for you to compare.
Okay, good. Huh.
On electric typewriters, no matter how hard or how softly the typist strikes the keys, the impression the type makes on the paper is always uniform, so an individual's typing style actually doesn't come through as it would on a manual.
Yeah, thanks. I'll keep that in mind.
I'm sorry. I'm sure you already knew that.
No. It's a good point. Do you run the office for Mr. Knight?
I keep the books. Actually, we all know each other's jobs here. We're like a family. The typing doesn't match the original, does it?
No, it doesn't seem to.
Well, I didn't think it would. No one here would ever do anything like that.
Of course not. As you say, you're like a family.
Harry Nile will be right back. Now, back to Harry Nile.
It's Mal Knight, Harry. Any leads since last night?
I'm working on a couple of possibilities. A disgruntled employee or one of your competitors.
No, Harry. I'm a past president of the Restaurant Association. None of our members would stoop to anything like this. Not a chance.
What about some employee you fired?
Well, I found out the only people we let go in the last year were a kitchen help and a cleanup guy, all of them foreigners. And I can't see someone who can barely understand English writing a letter like this one.
Okay. Who delivers your mail from the post office?
The mailman? I don't know his name. He's a mailman, that's all I know.
So, the letter was either bundled with the rest of the mail that he delivered and he didn't notice there was no stamp on it, or someone slipped it in with the rest of the mail after he brought it to your office.
No, Harry, I'm telling you, there's nobody in my office who'd do a thing like that.
Okay. Then how did it get in with your other mail?
Harry, may I say something?
Hold on a second, Mr. Knight. What is it, Murph?
Well, couldn't someone who isn't an employee, like a visitor, have brought the letter into the office?
Murphy's asking if some visitor to the office might have stuck the letter in with your mail.
We don't have visitors in the office.
I suppose not. Still, if you could check with your wife.
Nancy's really upset about this. I don't want to involve her any more than is absolutely necessary.
Okay. Just say I need to know who might have popped in long enough to drop off that letter. Ask around the office, will you? Someone might have seen something.
All right. And call me if you turn up anything. See you.
He doesn't want to think that anyone in his office could have done it.
Well, it sounds like he's loyal to his employees. How many people work for him?
150.
And his wife works there too? I'm just curious. What's she like?
Well, imagine Esther Williams with horn-rimmed glasses.
Really? Beautiful and statuesque?
I haven't seen her in a bathing suit, but she's tall. Taller than her husband.
Oh, by the way, Harry, I'm all caught up.
Caught up? On what?
On everything.
Oh. Okay, then you can dig into Malcolm Knight's life.
Oh? What do you want me to look for?
Well, I don't know, but all I really know about him is he owns 5 restaurants, he's about to open a 6th, and he's rolling in dough. So why didn't the guy who sent him the letter extort him for money?
Because all he wants is to keep Mr. Knight from opening his 6th restaurant.
And the only person who'll benefit if he doesn't open the outrigger is some other restaurant owner. Only it turns out I was wrong about that. Anyway, Murphy gets on the phone while I'm out of the office checking both daily papers' morgues. There's an article on Knight when he opened his first restaurant, the steakhouse where he took me to lunch, and there was a pretty nice review of another one of his restaurants, and articles in the business section about his growing chain of eateries, but nothing jumps out at me that I can use. When I get back to the office, though, Murphy's vibrating like a tuning fork.
Harry, you'll never believe what I just found.
Try me.
Well, when I called a newspaper real estate editor, I was going to ask her about the value of the property Knight's restaurant sits on. You know, to try to get a handle on his net worth.
Yeah.
And it seems Knight Enterprises doesn't own any property. They're renting. And she sounded as if the owners of the property would like him to get out of there.
Why?
Because he owes them so much back rent.
Come on. His restaurants are always crowded, and he's building his 6th one.
But that's not all I found out. Now hold on to your hat.
I'm not wearing a hat, Murphy.
Well, then put one on. That restaurant building in Portland that he told you he was going to move up here?
Yeah?
Well, that deal fell through last month when he failed to meet the deadline to pay the earnest money. He doesn't own the building because the sale never closed.
How'd you find this out?
The Seattle Public Library gets the Portland Journal of Commerce. So, Harry, what does the extortionist have to extort if Mr. Knight isn't getting the Portland restaurant moved up here after all?
I think it's time I had another talk with Mr. Knight.
I'm sorry. Mr. Knight isn't in right now.
Well, how about Mrs. Knight?
I'm afraid she's out of the office, too. Actually, I'm all alone here at the moment. You're Mr. Nile, the private detective, aren't you?
That's right. And you are?
I'm Mrs. Porter. I was wondering if...
Yes.
Nothing. Never mind.
Was there something you wanted to ask me?
No, that's all right.
What is it you do here in the office, Mrs. Porter?
Oh, I work in payroll and purchasing, and I help Nancy, Mrs. Knight, with the books. We all sort of share jobs.
Just one big happy family.
You could say that.
Have you been with the company a long time, Mrs. Porter?
8 years.
8 years. You must know everything about the business.
Oh, not everything, no.
Well, you know Mr. Knight's going to open another restaurant down at Pier 51.
Yes, I've heard him talk about it.
And do you know why he's hired me?
No, I don't.
But you know I'm a private detective.
Mrs. Knight mentioned it, yes.
Look, Mrs. Porter, if there's anything you can tell me that I should know about the Knights and their business, now would be the time to do it.
Oh, what do you want to know?
You know about the letter?
The letter?
The extortion note that was written to Mr. Knight. Since it didn't come through the mail, I know it had to have been put in the incoming mail bundle after the mail was delivered here to the office.
I don't know anything about it.
Really? Well, now that's a little hard for me to believe, seeing that you work so closely with Mrs. Knight. Are you sure she didn't mention it to you? Mrs. Porter? Oh, hey, I'm sorry. Did I say something to upset you? Hey, now, I didn't mean to put you on the spot. I just thought, well, here's a lady who might be able to put me straight on a couple of things I need to know. You know, to help out Mr. Knight, to keep him out of trouble.
It's not my place to say.
Well, no, of course it isn't. But for 8 years, you've been a loyal employee, a part of the family, like you said. And now in comes a stranger your boss hired to help him out of a bad situation. I can see how you'd feel about answering my questions, even if it would help out Mal and Nancy.
But it wouldn't help them. You don't understand.
Well, then make me understand, Mrs. Porter.
I can't. I mean, I don't know what to do.
You know about that restaurant down in Portland that Mr. Knight wanted to buy and move up here?
Yes.
Well, that's what the extortion letter was all about.
No, it wasn't.
But I've read the letter, Mrs. Porter. Whoever wrote it threatened to burn the restaurant down if he went ahead and moved it onto Pier 51.
That was just an excuse.
An excuse? For what?
I can't tell you any more.
Well, if the person who wrote the letter didn't really mean to burn the restaurant down, why would he make that threat?
I can't tell you. Don't you see? I wasn't supposed to hear any of it, but I couldn't help it. I was in the supply closet looking for some tax forms when Nancy and Mr. Knight came in. It was after hours, and they didn't know anyone was still in the office.
So what are we going to do, Malcolm? These aren't Kitty's playthings you forget about when you get a new toy. They're restaurants that we put a lot of money and sweat into, and I'm not going to see you ruin a perfectly good business on account of your insatiable ego and your insane need to have things.
Well, first of all, you're going to calm down. There's always a fallback position in every deal I make. Now, if we don't get the River Plantation building, we'll find something else.
While we keep on paying rent on Pier 51, and it isn't making us a cent? Why does it have to be on a pier? Why do we have to spend $10,000 just to get the building up here in a barge?
Okay, I admit this deal isn't like the others where we rented the space and the customers began coming in the door. But Pier 51 is going to put us on the map nationwide. Great food, great ambience, coverage in travel magazines, airline magazines, tour agencies, but most of all, location. Nobody can touch our location. It can't fail.
Okay, fine. Suppose you're right. Meanwhile, how are we going to pay the bills on the other 5 locations now that you're putting every bit of profit into Pier 51?
We'll cut staff. We'll cut back a little on advertising.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. We'll rob all our other restaurants while we pour money into a tired old building that has to be barged up the coast and then remodeled on a dock that most people can't even find.
Nancy, stop it.
You couldn't even pony up the earnest money.
That was just a slip in timing. Nancy, stop fighting me on this. Stop thinking small. Think growth, expansion.
I'm not against expanding the chain, Malcolm. I'm against going broke.
And then they left the office
Well, how long ago was that?
last week. Tuesday, I think it was.
And the extortion letter showed up when? Wednesday?
Yes.
Now, is there anything else you remember about the Pier 51 project?
No.
Or the letter?
No.
You're sure?
I'm sure. Oh, Mr. Nile, please don't let them know I told you these things. I'd never do anything to hurt either of them.
No. They seem to be able to do that all by themselves. After Mrs. Porter's revelations, I figure I'll probably have to take Malcolm Knight to small claims court to see any of my fee. Huh? Turns out I was wrong about that, too. Yeah.
Harry, did I wake you up?
No, the phone did. What do you want, Murphy?
I wouldn't bother you at home, but I assume you haven't been listening to the radio this morning.
At, what, 5 a.m. in the morning? No, why?
It just came over the news. Pier 51 is on fire.
Hey, Chief. Chief Brandenburg.
Who's that? Oh, it's you, Harry. What are you doing down here?
This pier's being rented by a client of mine. You know what happened?
Yeah, there's a car out there at the end of the pier. Its gas tank blew up and set the pier on fire.
Anybody in it?
It's been too hot to approach. We're about to find out.
Hey, look, you mind if I...
I'm sorry, Harry. You'll have to stay back. You can stay here by this pumper. Put your searchlight on it, Captain!
The steaming hulk of the car is sitting on its rims, its tires all burned away. From where I'm standing, I can only make out that it was a convertible with its roof braces up, and the top was gone. Battalion Chief Brandenburg gets to the car and looks down into it. Then, after a few seconds, I hear his walkie-talkie on the receiver in the pumper.
All units, we have one cremated Jaguar here and one body. Call the coroner. Harry Nile will be back in a minute. Now, back to Harry Nile.
Murphy, what are you doing down here?
Oh, Pier 51 isn't that far from Pioneer Square, so I thought I'd take a walk before opening the office. Kind of thought you'd still be here. Where's the car that burned?
No, they just dragged it away. It was Malcolm Knight's car.
Oh, no. Was he in it?
We don't know yet. Somebody was.
Well, Mr. Knight was in financial trouble, and from what you told me, he and his wife were having a falling out.
That doesn't necessarily add up to suicide.
No, but it could...
Hold on. What am I seeing?
What?
That Chevy Suburban that just parked on the pier.
What about it?
Well, you see he's getting out of it? That's Malcolm Knight.
And is that his wife with him?
No, it's a gal who works with him in his office, Mrs. Porter.
Well, then, who's in the Jaguar?
Harry. Hey, you? What are you doing down here?
I was just going to ask you the same question.
I spent the night down in Portland trying to salvage that deal I told you about. I drove the Suburban down there because I still hadn't had that gas leak fixed on my Jag.
So do you know who was in the Jag?
Well, Mrs. Porter told me Nancy was driving it last night. I'm praying that maybe somebody stole it from her. This is Shirley Porter from my office.
All right, we've met. So you drove to Portland yesterday. You feel like filling me in?
I guess now's as good a time as any.
Are you sure you want to, Mr. Knight?
I don't want to, but I have to put things right. Sometime after I left for Portland yesterday, Shirley learned that the person who wrote that letter was Nancy.
Your wife?
She was trying to get me to quit spending money on the Outrigger project. Apparently, by threatening to burn the place down, Nancy thought I'd give it up. At least, that's what she told Shirley. You better tell the rest, Shirley.
Well, right after Mr. Knight left the office, Nancy began to drink. I was finishing up some work, and she sat at her desk drinking. That was when she told me she was the one who'd written that letter. And she said she was going to get some fresh air. And she took car keys out of her desk. I tried to get her not to drive in her condition, or at least let me go with her, but she wouldn't hear of it. That's all I know.
So at no time were you in the car with her, Mrs. Porter?
No. I still had some work to do in the office.
Oh, by the way, what were you wearing at work yesterday? You remember?
What was I wearing? Why, this is what I was wearing. Why do you ask?
You usually wear the same clothes 2 days in a row?
Excuse me, Harry, what's this all about?
You drive, Mrs. Porter?
I don't have a car.
Ah. So last night you took the bus home, right? And this morning you took the bus to work, but you didn't change clothes overnight. Isn't that a little unusual?
You know, Harry, this is in rather poor taste, don't you think?
No. Look, just let me get my facts straight. I don't understand the timing. What time did you get back from Portland, Mr. Knight?
It was, I don't know, an hour ago, maybe 2 hours, something like that.
Then you must have left Portland around, what, 1 or 2 in the morning to get here when you did?
That's what I did. So what? What are you building?
Murphy, you've been standing there patiently waiting to do something. Why don't you smell Mrs. Porter's coat for me and tell me if you smell what I smell?
Smell my coat?
You leave her alone.
Go ahead, Murph. I'll keep Mr. Knight at bay.
Gas. It reeks of gasoline.
Yeah, that's what I thought, too. Kind of like my clothes smelled after riding with Mr. Knight yesterday. Do you want to establish the fuel leak alibi with me? Was that it, Mr. Knight?
No, that's nonsense.
But then how did the gasoline smell get on Mrs. Porter's clothes? Could it be that you were in the Jaguar with Mrs. Knight after all, Mrs. Porter?
No.
And maybe Mr. Knight didn't go to Portland. He was following you and his wife in the Suburban?
I was in Portland. I was nowhere near Seattle when it happened.
Okay. Just tell me which Portland hotel you stayed in, Mr. Knight. Or if you can't remember that, tell me how long you wanted to get rid of your wife. And Mrs. Porter, the police are going to ask you if you helped Mr. Knight to kill Nancy. Or maybe Mr. Knight will take all the blame himself. That would be the gallant thing to say.
I don't have to say anything to you. I'm calling my lawyer, and if you try to proceed with this theory of yours, I'll sue you till you starve.
Well, Murphy has been trying to get me to lose some weight.
The Adventures of Harry Nile is a copyrighted feature of Jim French Productions. Any similarity to actual persons or events is coincidental. This is Jay Green speaking. The Adventures of Harry Nile.
I'd just gotten back to my office after Murphy and I flew to Chicago. I was asked to hear the dying confession of a cop whose bullets had killed my wife 16 years before. The shooting had been called an accident at the time, and I believed that, until Bill Anson, on his deathbed, wanted to clear his conscience, and he sent for me. Well, after that, Murphy flew right back to Seattle, and I expected to follow the next day. But something came up.
Something always comes up.
It does not.
Well, it seems like it does. I mean, you were going to catch the next plane back to Seattle after a short visit with your family.
Yeah, and that was my intention, Murph, but the night you got on the plane to come back here to Seattle, my brother Vinny and our kid brother Joey planned to go out to dinner, but something came up.
Relax, Harry. At least you got your revenge.
I got revenge? How did I get revenge? Bill Anson died of cancer, Vinny. I didn't have anything to do with that.
What I meant was, he got what was coming to him.
Yeah, well, I don't know about that. I wouldn't wish cancer on my worst enemy. Hey, when's Joey supposed to be showing up?
When he gets here. You know Joey. There's Central Standard Time, and then there's Joey Standard Time.
Yeah. Hey, how's he working out in the butcher shop?
It's not a butcher shop, Harry. It's a wholesale meat outlet.
Sorry. How's he working out in the wholesale meat outlet?
He doesn't like to get his hands dirty. Between you and me, if he wasn't my kid brother, I'd have fired him his first week on the job.
Okay, I'm here. Anybody hungry?
Well, what do you think? It's 9:30.
Well, sorry I'm late, but traffic was a mess downtown. Hey, there's my big brother. Welcome home, Harry. It's great to see you.
How you doing, Joey?
I'm doing super. Geez, let me get a look at you. You don't look like you're doing so good, Harry. You working yourself too hard out there in Seattle? Hey, where's that redhead who works for you?
She had to fly back to run the office.
That redhead is the color of my hair only salient feature that I have.
Oh, come on, Murph. Cut him a little slack. He thinks of you as a girl, not as a...
Not as a what?
Well, as a highly efficient, organized, intelligent woman.
Come to that, how do you think of me, Harry?
Hey, I couldn't live without you.
This is strictly boys' night out, Joey. I took Annette over to Angie's apartment. She's spending the night.
Yeah, say, when's our reservations at this joint we're going to?
Reservations? We're not going to the Stork Club, Harry.
Now, don't give him the wrong idea, Joey. It's a nice family diner called the Oaks in Portage Park. They're customers of mine. I sell them their meat.
So we pile into Joey's car and head down through town while the boys catch me up on what they've been doing.
How long was it since you were all together?
Oh, 1952. When I went back there to find a kid who was supposedly in the Chicago PD.
Well, I remember that case. You called it My Kid the Cop.
Right. It was a very sad case. Well, anyway, this time Joey's driving his Mercury convertible, and he says he knows a shortcut to the diner. But we wind up where firefighters are pouring water on a burning building, and the whole block's been closed off. Joey's like a kid. He has to stop and gawk at the fire. But finally we arrive at the northwest side, and there's the Oaks at the corner of Milwaukee and Montrose. A cute waitress in a pink and white uniform leads us to a booth, hands out menus, pours the coffee, and gives Joey a big smile.
Well, back again so soon, Mr. Naletti.
Yeah, I get hungry a lot.
Now, I want you to try the prime rib, Harry.
I was thinking more of a steak.
No. They do prime rib like it ought to be. And you don't get a lot of fat because I trim all my primes nice and lean.
If Harry wants a steak, let him have a steak.
No, steaks are good, but the prime rib is fantastic. Order it rare.
Tomorrow he can come in and have the prime rib.
Hey, I'll have ham and eggs.
Now you see what you did, Joey? We sat down for a nice dinner and you start an argument. Sheesh!
I'm sorry. Well, Harry's gonna be my guest, so
Your guest? You're not buying.
Yes, I am. I'm gonna have a top sirloin, and you can have whatever you want, Harry, because I'm buying.
Stop trying to act like a big man, Joey. I write your paycheck, remember?
Well, for your information, I got plenty of money. Here, have a look.
What have you got there? Silver dollars?
Criminy, Joey, put your money away.
You just go ahead and order whatever you want, Harry. Me, I'm having a top sirloin steak rare, and I'm gonna start with the chocolate milkshake and a shrimp cocktail, and here comes Lottie to take our order. Lottie, these are my brothers. This is Vinny, and this is Harry. Harry's a private eye out in Seattle.
Well, I'm glad to meet you. What can I bring you?
I want a top sirloin steak smothered in onions, a shrimp cocktail, and a chocolate milkshake.
All right, a topper.
Smothered in onions.
Smothered in onions, and a chocolate shake, and a shrimp cocktail. And have you gentlemen decided, or do you need a little more time?
No, I'll have the prime rib.
Oh, come on, Harry. Harry wants a steak, Lottie. Bring him a top sirloin like mine.
No, the prime rib will be fine. Medium rare.
Now, don't be stupid, Harry. Have whatever you want. I just thought you'd enjoy a nice, thick slice of rare prime rib.
And that's what I'm ordering.
And you wanted your prime rib medium rare?
Right.
Prime rib medium rare and one top sirloin. And you, sir?
I'll just have the chop steak.
I thought you wanted the prime rib, Vinny.
Will you just shut up? Sheesh!
Well, nothing had changed since '52 when I was with them last. They'd just gotten 3 years older. Well, they still don't get along.
Oh, what a shame.
Yeah. Well, the waitress brought Joey a shake and his shrimp cocktail, which he dug into like he had a train to catch. While he was busy with that, Vinny began to recite all the problems he was having at work. Finally, our waitress came back with our orders.
The top sirloin for you, prime rib for you, and I'm sorry, it looks like we just ran out of chop steak, so I ordered the prime rib for you, sir. I hope that'll be all right. If it's not, I'd be glad to...
No, that's okay. That's what I wanted in the first place.
Oh, and of course, we'll only charge you the ground steak price.
Oh, well, yeah, that's very nice of the management.
Can I bring you gentlemen anything else right now?
No, that's all for me, thanks.
All right, I'll be back with some fresh coffee. Enjoy your dinner.
Hey, not bad. A big slab of prime rib for the price of hamburger? Lottie really takes care of her customers.
You got something going on with that waitress, Joey? The way you look at her, somebody might think you
Lottie, she's married and has 4 kids.
Well, the food was great, and my 2 brothers got to talking baseball and hockey and joking and kidding while we ate. And, I finally started to relax and enjoy the evening. When it came time to pay the bill, I suggested we go Dutch, but Joey wouldn't hear of it and tipped the waitress $10 silver, making sure we noticed.
A $10 tip?
$10 silver. We walked to where Joey had parked, but when we got there was a sedan double parked right beside his car, so he couldn't drive away from the curb. 2 men in suits got out and came toward us. I knew the walk. They were cops.
Hey, what's going on?
Chicago police. Is one of you the driver of this Mercury?
Yeah, I am. What's wrong, officer?
Let me see some identification, please.
Is something wrong, officer?
Here's my driver's license.
You're Joseph Niletti?
That's right.
You still living at this address, Mr. Niletti?
Yeah, I still live there.
Okay. Now let's see your identification.
These are my brothers. I'm Vincenzo Niletti. I own Niletti Wholesale Meat Company.
Vincenzo Niletti. Okay, Vincenzo. Now let's see your ID.
Here.
Is it a Washington State license?
Yeah, that's where I live.
Say, wait a minute. This says your name's Harry Nile. I thought you were a Niletti.
Yeah, well, I can explain that.
Harry changed his name when he became a cop.
Thanks, Joey.
Oh, you were a cop? Where was that?
Here in Chicago 16 years ago.
Why'd you change your name?
Personal reasons. Look, how about letting us get back in our car and go home?
I don't think so. You can get in a car, all right. Our police car. Back seat, all three of you.
Harry Nile will be back in a minute. Now, back to Harry Nile.
The police actually arrested you?
No, they didn't arrest us. They stuck us in the back seat of their car and began asking questions.
Okay, Joseph, where were you around 6 o'clock tonight?
Me? I was at home taking a shower.
Anyone else use your car tonight?
No, sir.
So you were the only person who drove it tonight?
Yeah. Why?
Did you drive your car in the vicinity of Pulaski Road and 55th tonight?
No, I don't think so.
Yes, you did, Joe. You took a shortcut on the way here, remember? Down where that building was on fire. That was on Pulaski.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot.
Can you tell us what all this is about, officer?
Yeah. A cream-colored Mercury convertible with Indiana tags was spotted leaving the alley behind the Johansson Furniture Company warehouse just before the place caught fire. You wouldn't know anything about that, would you?
No, it wasn't me.
That's interesting. I wonder how many cream-colored 1950 Mercury convertibles with Indiana tags are driving around Chicago.
You driving around with Indiana plates, Joey?
I just bought the car from a guy who lives in Hammond, okay? I haven't had time to buy Illinois plates yet.
Is your vehicle registration in the car?
Yeah, I think so. It's in the glove compartment.
All right. Let me have the keys.
Sure. Here you go.
Say, what you got in your pocket?
Just some silver dollars.
Is that right?
Uh-huh. Yeah, you want one? I got a pocket
No,
full of
Joey.
them. Why not?
Because that could be taken as an attempt to bribe an officer. You just keep your money to yourself.
Well. You a lawyer, Mr. Nile?
No, but he's a private eye.
Oh, is that so?
Thanks again, Joey.
What brings you all the way to Chicago, Mr. Nile? You, on a case?
I'm on a vacation.
Hey, officer. How long is this gonna take?
As long as it takes. You gents stay right here.
You don't know anything about that fire, do you, Joey?
Me? No. Why would I know anything about the fire?
On our way over here, you stopped and looked at it.
I thought I knew a shortcut and I got lost. Besides, a big fire like that always attracts a crowd.
And another thing. Why were you so late getting to my house tonight, Joey? You were an hour late. What were you doing?
I told you they had the traffic blocked off on Pulaski on account of the fire. That's what made me late. Hey, you guys act like you think I'm guilty of something. I buy you a nice dinner, and this is the thanks I get?
We don't think that, Joey. These are the things the cops are going to ask you if they take you in for questioning.
Questioning for what? I didn't set the fire.
Well, the police let us go our own way, and Joey drove back to Vinny's. No shortcuts this time. But I was still curious about those silver dollars Joey was carrying.
Did Joey ever say where he got them?
He said he'd done a favor for someone. So I asked him if he'd mind telling me what the favor was.
Yeah, Harry, I do mind. You sound like you don't trust me.
And he paid you in silver dollars. Why silver dollars?
I don't know why. What difference does it make?
You know, back when I used to gamble, Corio's casino paid off in silver dollars. They can't be traced. That's why a lot of illegal payoffs are done in coins rather than bills.
Who said anything about an illegal payoff?
After Joey had dropped us off at Vinny's place, Vinny and I stood there on the sidewalk, watching Joey's fancy car disappear down the street.
The kid's got himself into some kind of trouble again. Where'd he get all that money he was showing off, huh? Why'd he drive way out of his way to see that burning building on the way to the Oaks? I'm telling you, Harry, I know Joey better than you do. I'm with him every day, and he's gotten himself into something again. Like, remember his jukebox business? Working for that gangster Jules Riskin? I gotta find out if he knows something about that fire.
Okay. I'll need to borrow your car tonight.
Oh, man, Harry, don't ask me that. Last time you borrowed my car, you ruined it. Bullet holes, burned out clutch. I had to junk it. Where do you want to go at this time of night?
Back to the diner, if it's still open.
They're open 24 hours a day. Why do you want to go to back there?
Well, something that waitress said about Joey. When we first came into the diner, she acted like Joey'd already been there once tonight.
I don't get what you mean.
I'd like to account for where Joey was before he showed up at your place at 9 o'clock, and that waitress could be his alibi.
Okay, but I'll drive. I'd like to keep my car in one piece.
I don't see her anywhere. No, here she comes.
Her name's Lottie, right?
Yeah, Lottie.
Good evening, gentlemen. Oh, you're back again. Joey Naletti's brothers, right?
You got a great memory, Lottie.
Oh, Joey talks a lot about you. Sit anywhere you like. Can I get you some coffee? And would you like a menu?
Coffee would be good. Vinny?
Why not? I won't be able to sleep tonight anyway.
I'll be right back.
Is this booth okay?
Yeah, fine.
Look, what time did Joey quit work today?
5 o'clock. He's always on time at quitting time.
So we need to find out what he was doing between 5 o'clock and 9.
Harry, didn't Joey resent having his brother suspecting him?
Well, I thought if we found that he hadn't done anything wrong, he'd never know we were suspicious. Only it didn't work out that way. I mean, there we sat, Vinny and I, hoping Lottie could fill in some blanks, when a kid selling the early edition of the Tribune walked into the diner, and I bought a paper. There was a photo of a building on fire, and the story said that arson was suspected. I read it to Vinny, and then Lottie came with the coffee.
Now, how can I help you?
Well, you mentioned that Joey had been in here earlier this evening, before the three of us came in for dinner.
Oh, that's right. He came in around 7 or 7:30.
Was he alone, or was he with someone?
Well, he came in alone, and then another fella joined him. But he must have only stayed a minute or so, because the next time I noticed, he'd gone.
Had you ever seen the man before?
Gosh, I don't think so.
Can you describe him?
Not really. He was wearing overalls, like a mechanic.
Well, what did Joey do after the guy left?
Oh, he just sat there drinking coffee.
For how long?
Oh, quite a long time, probably an hour or more.
That would be roughly until 8 or 8:30?
I really don't know, but the next time I passed by, he was gone, and he'd left one of those silver dollars on the table. And I thought, pretty nice tip for a couple of cups of coffee.
You didn't see the guy in the overalls again?
No. But later I saw Joey standing out on the sidewalk like he was waiting for someone.
Harry Nile will be back in a minute. Now, back to Harry Nile.
Now let's see, Harry. If Joey was supposed to be at Vinny's house to pick you up at 8 o'clock, but around 8 he was standing out on the sidewalk in front of the diner, well, who was he waiting for?
Well, it's a good question, Murph. And it wasn't very long until we had the answer to that and a lot of other questions. While we were talking with Lottie, into the diner walked the two cops who'd rousted us earlier that evening.
What are they doing here?
I think we're about to find out.
Well, I thought you fellows were heading home.
We were. Then we came back.
Want another piece of that apple pie, huh?
Well, we haven't tried that yet.
Oh, well, I can recommend it.
Come on, Stan. We better take up our positions. He'll show up any minute. Gentlemen, could we get you to drink up and leave?
No, wait a minute.
Why? What's going on?
You say you were a cop? You ever been on a stakeout? Well, that's what we're doing. Remember what I said, Lottie?
Yeah, as soon as Joey comes in, I hide in the kitchen, and if there's trouble, I call that number you gave me.
Wait. If they go outside, suppose they tip off our target before he comes in.
Yeah, good point. Okay, gentlemen, you mind moving to that farthest booth in the back?
You mind telling us what's going on here?
Just take the back booth and stay quiet, and you'll see in a minute.
Well, we got up and moved to the last booth in the back. And I knew the detectives were laying a trap for someone that they knew would be coming through that door.
Oh, Joey. Poor Joey.
Yeah, that would explain why they didn't want us to see him before he came in and why we were hidden away in the back booth. Cops were sitting in a booth up by the front door. Lottie was trying to look busy behind the counter. Everything was quiet. Then, in a minute, Joey came in.
Hey, look, there he is.
And we'll just keep quiet and let it play out. Joey checked his watch, then took a stool at the counter. And just a few seconds later, a guy wearing coveralls came in from the street and sat next to him. Nobody said a word. Then the detectives got up from their booth and walked over to the counter, flanking Joey and the other guy.
Excuse me, are you J.J. Dickerson?
Yeah. Who are you?
Chicago Police. We'd like you to come downtown for a little talk.
And it was all over. Without another word, the detectives hustled the guy in coveralls out of the diner, leaving Joey at the counter. Vinny and I got up and joined him.
Geez, you guys. When I saw you sitting in back there, I thought you were going to blow the whole thing.
Blow what whole thing? Who was that guy?
He's the guy I loaned my car to last night. J.J. Dickerson.
Who's J.J. Dickerson?
Well, you see, after work, I dropped into a billiard parlor to shoot a couple of games, and I was losing. So the guy that I was playing said he'd forget about the money I owed him if I did him a little favor. He said he had a job to do over on Pulaski, but his car wasn't running, and he wanted to borrow my Mercury. Well, I didn't want to loan him my car, but then he slipped me this little sack with silver dollars in it, and since I was so broke, I took it. And the guy's name was J.J. Dickerson.
Did you ask him what the job was that he had to do?
Well, yeah, naturally. I'm not stupid, Vinny. He said he was helping out a guy in the furniture business, and he promised he'd be back in time for me to drive over to your house.
You didn't know he was going to burn a building down?
No, I'd played pool with JJ before, but I didn't know he was a firebug. Well, anyway, he said to meet him here at the Oaks, and he'd take my car and bring it back when he was done with it.
So you waited here?
Yeah, but it got later and later, and I got worried and went out on the street so he'd see me when he got here. Honest, ask Claudie.
When did you decide to tell the police all this?
Right after they put us in the police car and asked about the Mercury. I was so scared I decided that after I drove you back to Vinny's, I was going to go to the police station and tell him everything. And they asked me to call JJ and have him meet me back here at the Oaks, and they'd take it from there. You know, they turned out to be okay guys.
So, Joey wasn't in trouble after all?
Not with the police, but Vinny had a few choice words for him at work the next day.
But why did this JJ person want to use Joey's car?
Well, he probably wanted to use a car any witness could identify.
So they think Joey did it.
Yeah, but if Joey hadn't had an alibi for the time the fire was set, he could have gone to jail then and there.
So the real hero of this story wasn't you, or Vinny, or Joey.
No, it was a lovely little woman named Lottie Giza. And if I ever get back to Chicago, I'm going to look her up and take her out to dinner.
Well.
And her 4 kids and her husband.
Larry Albert was heard as Harry Nile, and Pat French plays Murphy. Also on our cast were Derek Turner, Dennis Bateman, Jay Green, Cynthia Tweez, and Steve Manning. This episode, The Waitress and the Wheelman, was written and produced by Jim French and directed by Pat French. Sound effects were created by Cheryl Jacobs and David Person, and our engineer was Jason Shavey. This program was recorded before a live audience at the Kirkland Performance Center. Jay Green speaking. The Adventures of Harry Nile.
Perhaps you'd enjoy looking through our brochure while you wait, Mr. Nile.
Huh? Oh, okay, thanks.
Just make yourself comfortable. I'm sure Mr. Harwood will be right out.
Yeah, it's a nice brochure. It's some layout you've got here.
We're very proud of it.
Well, Harry Nile, right?
Oh, that's me.
Oh, I'm sorry to keep you waiting. I was on long distance. Jack Harwood. We spoke on the phone yesterday.
Glad to meet you in person, Mr. Harwood.
Let's go in my office. Hold my calls, please, Gloria.
Will do.
Take a seat, Harry, and I'll fill you in.
Well, this looks like a real high-class operation. Fairly new, isn't it?
The Afterglow's been open about 3 years, but I came out here just last month from our main office in Minneapolis to iron out some problems. Now, Harry, what I'm going to tell you is strictly off the record.
Of course.
When you come right down to it, the most valuable thing a retirement and nursing facility has is its reputation. And our reputation is on the line. I didn't want to mention it on the phone, but frankly, too many of our residents have been dying.
How many is too many?
The national average in facilities of our size runs about 3 deaths per year, but in our first year of operating, we lost 6 residents. Now, the rate for our second year should have dropped, but it didn't. It got worse. Last year, we lost 9 of our residents, and I'm afraid 1956 could wind up even worse. 9 residents have already died this year, and this is only September.
Elderly people die.
Oh, yes. They're more subject to illness. That's why we have the health center, to provide round-the-clock nursing care for as long as they may need it. Our goal is to provide every resident a secure and comfortable home for as long as he or she lives, with all necessities taken care of.
Didn't I just read that same sentence in your brochure?
Yes, you probably did. The point is, Harry, the head office is extremely concerned. Something's haywire here, and I just haven't been able to pin it down.
Well, okay. First thing I'm going to need is everything you have in your files on the 9 people who've died so far this year.
Yes, I anticipated that, and I had my secretary collect those files. But, mind you, they're the only copies in existence, so treat them like gold.
Right. I'll be careful with them.
Now, where do you want to begin?
Do you have a doctor on staff?
Yes. Dr. Bernard Jacobs is our MD. His office is downstairs in the health center. Just a minute. I told Gloria to hold my calls. Excuse me. Gloria, didn't you hear me tell you I don't want to be interrupted?
I heard you, Mr. Harwood, but I thought you'd want to know as soon as possible.
No, what?
Mrs. Seeley in 302.
Well, what about her?
She's dead. A nurse's aide just found her. Apparently she died in her sleep.
Good Lord. There's number 10.
Harry Nile will be back in a minute. Now, back to Harry Nile.
Yes, I'm Dr. Jacobs. You wanted to see me?
Doctor, my name is Harry Nile. I'm a private investigator doing some work for Mr. Harwood. If this is a bad time...
No. This time is as good as any. Harwood told me he'd hired an investigator. What can I do for you?
I'd like to ask you some questions about the situation here.
Situation?
The death rate.
Let's go in this room where we can talk. We won't be interrupted here. This is the X-ray room. Now, what do you need to know?
Well, Mr. Harwood tells me your residents are dying like flies. Pardon me, I guess that's a poor choice of words.
Mr. Nile, the population in this facility receives the best of care. But unfortunately, a lifespan is unpredictable. Now, I know Jack Harwood is concerned about our numbers, but I've assured him, and I assure you, statistics in this case don't tell the whole story.
Oh? How so?
The only cause that's common to all these deaths is old age. Everyone dies at some time and in some place. Over the long term, you'll find that the afterglow will be right in line with the national average for facilities of this type.
Mr. Harwood hired me to find out if there was something fishy going on.
Only if you consider stroke, heart disease, diabetes, and 100 other conditions common to geriatric patients as fishy. I presume you learned of Mrs. Seeley's passing this morning. Mrs. Seeley was 92 years old. There's nothing suspicious here. Our goal is to provide every resident with a secure and comfortable home for as long as he or she lives, with all the necessities taken care of.
For the rest of the day, I nose around the establishment, talking with staff members and dozens of residents in the day room, the hobby center, and the library. Everyone seems contented, and nobody has a bad word for Harwood or the doctor. By 6 o'clock, the aroma from the kitchen makes me hungry, and it'll be a long drive back to Seattle. So I wander into the dining room to look around. An elderly gent at one of the tables stands up and waves me over.
Looking for a place to sit? I'd be glad to have you join me.
I'll take you up on that. My name's Harry Nile.
Mike Matson. You visiting someone here?
Yeah, you could say that.
I like to guess people's jobs. About half the time I get it right. I guess you're in law enforcement.
Didn't know it showed.
Was that right?
Well, I used to be a policeman, but I went private several years ago. Here, take my card.
Uh-huh. Seattle. Well, I'll give you my card.
Michael Madsen, Lieutenant, Homicide Department, Bellingham PD, retired. I'm glad to meet you, Mr. Madsen.
Make it Mike.
Okay, Mike, and I'm Harry. You lived here a long time?
Not long. And since I don't have any relatives left anymore, I figured I'd get out of the rat race and let somebody else take care of me. But I still ask a lot of questions. Guess I'm nosy.
Once a detective, always a detective.
I spent my whole life in police work, Harry, and I loved it. And the biggest thing that keeps an officer safe and effective is intelligence. Know who you're dealing with, know your surroundings, do your homework, know what you're getting into, and know the way out.
Amen to that.
Now, what brings you out here in the country?
I'm doing a little job for Mr. Harwood.
Oh, yes, Harwood. You know him well?
Well, actually, I just met him this afternoon.
What do you think of him?
I've only spent maybe 10 minutes with him. Why? Is there something I ought to know?
You going to be around here tomorrow?
Probably.
Look me up. I'm in 118. Maybe by then I'll have a thing or two to show you, and you'll know a little more than you do now. Here comes the waitress. Order the corned beef and cabbage. Usually pretty good.
After dinner, I pick up the metal case holding the files and make the long drive back to Seattle. Next morning...
Good morning, Harry. Oh, what have you got there?
The files on everyone who died at the Afterglow this year.
Tell me what you're looking for. Maybe I can help.
Well, I'm going to look for any way that these cases were connected to each other, and whether someone could have profited by their deaths.
You mean by their wills, insurance, that sort of thing?
Yeah, anything that looks suspicious. Here, we'll each take half of them. I'll look for any similarities among the records of these peoples, like they're the same lawyers or the same conservators. And so we begin examining every piece of paper in every file. And it turns out there isn't much to examine. Medical histories, names of next of kin, insurance policies, inventories of personal belongings they brought with them when they arrived. Well, between the dry old papers and the warm September morning, I can hardly keep from nodding off. But when I finished reading the files, I can't find a single thing to be suspicious of, and neither can Murphy.
So what are we missing, Harry? Maybe there weren't any shenanigans going on after all.
Shenanigans?
It's an old Irish word that means tomfoolery.
And tomfoolery means?
It's an old English word that means mischief.
And
what's more, I don't see any signs that any of these ladies were wealthy enough to steal from. A couple of them wound up penniless, and the Afterglow paid their rent for them until they died.
Now that's interesting. No men died in the past year at the Afterglow, only women.
I would assume these women were already widows when they came to live there.
Yeah. Well, maybe it's like Dr. Jacobs said. They all died of old age. Simple as that.
Which means there was no crime to investigate, which means we are out of a fat fee.
Murphy, I'm surprised at you. We're doing a public service.
Harry Nile Investigations, this is Murphy. And who may I say is calling? Mr. Harwood? Just a moment, please. It's Mr. Harwood from the Afterglow.
Give it here. Good morning, Mr. Harwood.
Harry, I don't know how to tell you this, but I'm going to have to cancel our arrangement with you.
Is that so? Why?
Well, I had no business hiring a private investigator. I must have overreacted. It seems that there's nothing suspicious here after all. The national figures I was working from were wrong. I was wrong. So I'd appreciate it if you'd just return those files to my office this afternoon, if that's convenient. And we're still keeping all of this absolutely private, right?
Right.
Harry!
Just a minute, Murphy.
Harry, I found the shenanigan. Someone's been stealing from those old people.
Can I call you back, Mr. Harwood?
Well, I'll be here all day, so I'll expect to see you just as soon as you can get here. I want to hear more of what that lady said.
Right.
Just remember, Harry, our goal is to provide every resident with a secure and comfortable home for as long as he or she lives, with all necessities taken care of.
What is that, the Boy Scout oath? If I hear that spiel one more time, I'm going to set it to music.
Harry, I know what's missing in these files.
What?
There are no records showing the income these people had. No investments, no annuities, no copies of life insurance policies, no pension or retirement income.
That's right. Why wouldn't their files be jammed with that stuff?
Unless they were removed before you got them.
Huh. I'm going to think about that on the drive up to Mount Vernon.
Oh, Mr. Nile, you're here. Mr. Harwood will be so glad to get those files back, and I have your check ready for you.
Already? Great, Gloria, thanks. And here are the files.
Perfect.
Mr. Harwood said he wanted to talk to me when I got here.
Oh, I'm sorry. Mr. Harwood stepped out for a while. Could I help you?
No. I think while I'm waiting, I'll go visit one of your residents I met yesterday.
Oh, really? Which resident was that?
Mike Matson.
Oh, Mr. Matson. Well, I hate to disappoint you, but Mr. Matson left this morning with his son to go on a fishing trip. I believe he said. I don't really know when he'll be back.
His son took him fishing? How nice.
Uh-huh. Is there anything else I can do for you?
Oh, maybe I'll go downstairs and talk with Dr. Jacobs for a few minutes.
Dr. Jacobs, oh, you won't believe this, but I saw him drive away about a half hour ago. We're just not having any luck today, are we?
No, I guess not.
But I'll certainly tell Mr. Harwood and Dr. Jacobs that you wanted to see them. I know they'll be disappointed to have missed you.
So, 3 strikes, and I'm out. As I walk back to my car, I tear open the envelope Gloria gave me, and it's for $500. For one day's work and travel, my minimum of $100 would have covered it nicely. Now, a suspicious person might think the 5 Franklins are a bribe to make me forget the whole thing. And I suddenly think of something Mike Madsen said yesterday.
Since I don't have any relatives anymore, I figured I'd get out of the rat race and let somebody else take care of me.
Mike has no relatives? Then he has no son. So who was the guy he went fishing with? And did he go fishing at all? I do an about-face and march back into the reception room.
Oh, did you forget something, Mr. Nile?
No, I just remembered something. Gloria, did you tell me that Mike Madsen's son picked him up to take him fishing?
Why, yes.
Did you ever see him before?
I don't think so. Why do you ask?
Because Mike told me yesterday he has no living relatives.
He said that? How strange. Or I suppose I could have misunderstood him. At any rate, he's not here.
Well, it's still fairly early in the afternoon. I think I'll hang around and wait for Mr. Harwood to get back.
I don't expect him back today.
And Dr. Jacobs isn't here?
No, he's not.
Then who's watching the store?
I beg your pardon?
Who runs things when the head honchos are away?
Well, that would be me.
Okay. Now, just in case either of them gets back, I'm going to stroll around for a while.
No, you're not.
Come again?
Well, what I meant to say was we don't allow unescorted guests beyond that door. It leads to private living quarters for our residents.
Or can I have an escort then?
There's no one available at this time of day. You have to understand, Mr. Nile, we protect the privacy and security of our residents. Our goal is to provide every resident
with a secure and comfortable home for as long as he or she lives. See, I've already memorized it.
It's the corporate creed. It's what we live by. Now, Mr. Nile, I'm quite busy, so I'll thank you to just leave.
I've been given the bum's rush before, and always for the same reason. Someone's got something they don't want me to find out. I go out to the parking lot again. I know Gloria's watching me, so I make like I'm driving to the exit. But when I'm out of her sight, I swing back and drive down a driveway to the side of the building where a sign reads, "Resident Parking Only." There's a side door, so I park and stand by it until an old gent opens it and comes out to go to his car. I smile at him and say hello, and I catch the door before it swings shut. Just like that, I'm inside. I'm in the health center. I can tell by the smell of chlorine and bleach. Down at the other end of the hall, there's a woman in a white uniform coming out of the x-ray room. So I duck through the nearest door, and I'm in an employee's locker room. And hanging on a clothes rack are some white lab coats. I exchange my sport coat for one of the coats, and 30 seconds later, I'm back in the hallway, gowned and trying to look medical. I take the elevator up one level and start looking for room 118, Mike Madsen's room. I find it and slip inside. Well, so far, so good. As a career detective, Mike must have kept a notebook. Maybe he still does. He knew I'd be here today to see him. Then, on top of his dresser, I find it. I leaf through it until I come to the page with today's date, and a card falls out. It's the business card I gave him. On the back of it, he scribbled, "Harry, check the drugs."
Back to the adventures of Harry Nile in 1 minute. Now, back to Harry Nile.
The pharmacy is a small room off the main hall on the first floor, separated from the hallway by a chain-link screen, and the door's locked. So, where can I go now? There's a nurse's station up ahead and a few old folks resting quietly in wheelchairs. I have to risk it. I walk casually past the nurse at her desk, nod to her, and keep on going. Nobody calls out. No alarm bell rings. The next door looks familiar. It goes into the x-ray room where Dr. Jacobs and I talked yesterday. I turn the knob and walk right in. And there, on a gurney, strapped down and motionless, lies Mike Metz. Mike, can you hear me? It's Harry Nile.
Harry, did you get my message?
Yeah, I got it. What are you doing in here? What's happening?
Oh, I guess I passed out. What are you doing in here? Why the doctor get up?
Looking for you and the drugs. What drugs?
Help me out of this harness.
Sure. All right, come on. All right. All right. Now, tell me about the drugs.
The drugs, they don't give us.
Don't give you? What are you talking about?
I don't know. I haven't figured it out yet myself, but these women who died here, something was done to their medications. That much I know.
You mean poison?
No, I don't think so. Poison would be too easy to trace in an autopsy. Oh, I'm dizzy when I try to sit up.
You don't have to sit up. How did you find out about this?
Because I happened to look in Mary Seeley's wastebasket.
I don't understand.
I went into her room, and I saw what was in her wastebasket. 9 or 10 little boxes of medicine. Now, Mary had just died, or I'd have asked her what her meds were doing in the trash. So I did the next best thing. I kiped them.
You stole them?
I took them to my room to show you when you came to see me. That's what they were looking for this morning. I wouldn't tell them what I did with them, so they bundled me up, stuck me in here. And when Jacobs gets back, I'll no doubt get the truth serum.
Sodium pentothal?
Well, whatever. Now, how'd you get past Gloria to come to my room?
I used the side entrance. You think you can walk?
I wouldn't count on it. I took my pills when I got up, but they don't seem to do any good. So maybe I'm going to be next.
Next for what?
What Mary Seeley got. A one-way ticket out.
Listen, Mike, the pharmacy's locked, but I've got to find where Dr. Jacobs stashes the medications.
In a cabinet in his office next door. He's got a supply that would make your friendly Rexall pharmacist green with envy.
And the door between the x-ray room and his office isn't locked. I go to a tall steel cabinet and open it up. And here I see shelves filled with prescribed medicines, and every little bottle has a pharmacy label with the name of the patient and the doctor typed on it and the date. The names look familiar. They're the names of the 10 residents who died this year. I close up the cabinet and slip back into the x-ray room, and just as I'm about to tell Mike what I discovered, in walks Dr. Jacobs and an orderly with biceps like truck axles.
The nurse told me she saw a stranger walking around in a doctor's coat. All right, restrain the big one, Stewart.
Now, you don't need the muscle, Doc. You can have the coat back.
Take him, Stewart. I can handle Mr. Matson myself. He's not feeling too well today.
When I was a cop, I'd have had you on your back, Jacobs.
Now, Mr. Nile, Stewart has had to handle violent patients before at a mental hospital. Please do not make another move if you value your neck.
Who writes your dialogue, Bela Lugosi?
Just hold him in that position, Stewart, till I'm finished with him. Now, just what were you doing here?
Trying to find out what you're getting out of your patients who die.
I see. If I understand you correctly, you think that I somehow benefit when one of our residents passes away? Explain to me just exactly how that would work.
Well, when someone moves into the afterglow, they sign all their income over to you, so that when they die, you get their money. That's why there's no financial paperwork in any of the dead patients' files.
You're absolutely right. That's the agreement they all must sign when they move here. And that pays for us to provide every resident with a secure and comfortable...
Oh, stop. You say that again and I'll let Stewart break my neck.
If you had checked other facilities like ours, you would have seen that this is a perfectly legal, standard way to finance our services. It's done everywhere all the time.
The only difference is you can't wait for us to die, so you speed things up by switching our medications.
That how it works? Howard wasn't in on the scam?
No. He was a troubleshooter from the Home Office.
Well, what happened to him?
Oh, he's been well taken care of.
Taken care of very well by these gentlemen, Bernie.
Harwood, I thought you were...
On a plane back to Minneapolis with your hush money? No, I turned that money over to this gentleman.
I'm Ron Kelly, Sheriff of Skagit County, and these are 2 of my deputies. All right, boys, we'll take the doctor with us. We already have that receptionist, Gloria.
I want to talk to my attorney. This is all a misunderstanding.
You can use a phone at the jail. Turn around, Dr. Jacobs.
Morning, Harry. What's the matter? You're limping. You're not standing straight, but you're grinning like a Cheshire cat. What's going on?
And good morning to you. The limp and the back pain are courtesy of an orderly at the health center named Stewart. He mistook me for a grapefruit and squeezed.
Oh, no.
And the grin is because of this.
What's in here?
Open it.
What?
The Adventures of Harry Nile.
Morning, Murphy.
Morning, Harry. You're puffing.
I'm what?
You're puffing.
Yeah, well, I just walked up the stairs.
One flight? That shouldn't make you out of breath. You really need to take better care of yourself, Harry. Cut out the coffee. Get some exercise. Lose some weight.
I like my weight where it is.
You mean around your middle?
You know what I mean.
Look, the public library has some excellent books on physical fitness, and I'll be happy to...
Hey, I gave up booze. I gave up cigarettes. Now you want me to give up coffee? What's next? Chewing gum?
I've never seen you chew gum.
I only do it in the privacy and comfort of my own apartment. Look, let's change the subject. What's on my schedule today?
Nothing.
Nothing?
Of course, you could sign a few checks so I could pay some bills.
We don't send out money when there's nothing coming in.
Okay. Here's the morning paper. Have you seen it?
Yeah, I saw it at the Pioneer while I ate breakfast.
Did you read about the mystery of the missing councilman?
Saw something about it. Floyd Dishman, wasn't it?
Yeah, he was supposed to announce the winning bidder on the new city hall Wednesday, but he didn't come to the city council meeting, and they don't know where he is or where all the bids are.
Well, I hear Dishman's a millionaire. Maybe he fell off his yacht.
And so begins another day in the life of Harry Nile. A bleak day, by all indications. No clients, no money, no coffee. But Harry would be the first to admit that things can change. And on this particular day, when a change comes, it's profound. After it was all over, and Murphy collected Harry's notes for his case file, she had no trouble deciding on a name to write on the folder. The case is titled, A Trail to a Corpse.
So I retired to my inner office. I spent some time gazing out the window at the sunny waters of Elliott Bay, with my mind as empty as my bank account. For a while, nothing interrupts my solitude. No one knocks on my door, nobody rings my phone. Then, Murphy relents and brings me a hot, fresh cup of coffee and sets it down on my desk with a paper towel and an indulgent smile.
I suppose one cup won't hurt.
You're all heart, Murph.
Hello, anybody there?
Who's that?
Hey, Seattle Police, the joint is raided.
She's at the cops. In here, Lou.
Oh, Detective Butterfield. I hardly know you. You're dressed so...
I think the word you're looking for is casually.
Try seedy. What's with the raggedy shirt and jeans?
I'm going hiking in the mountains, do a little fishing.
So why are you down here?
Well, I had this great idea, Harry. You know, it's a beautiful morning, so why waste it? You ever been up along the Cayuse River?
Where's that?
It's a tributary of the Snoqualmie. At this time of year, it'll be running fast and full. Yeah, I thought if you weren't busy, we could take the trail along the river, maybe catch us some trout and fry
Hey, hold it a minute. Is this the same smooth detective who outcons the con men, plays all the angles?
I know, you think of me as dapper and debonair, street smart, tough, savvy...
And don't forget modest.
Oh, yeah. Seriously, though, you need a change of scene, Harry. Come on.
Go ahead, Harry. You know I can manage the office by myself.
I know. That's what I'm afraid of. I couldn't think of a reason not to go. So we drive to my place, I change clothes and open a new can of cat food for Magruder, and then we head east across the floating bridge and up US 10 in his old pickup. When are you going to break down and buy yourself a new truck?
What's wrong with this one? It's only got 97,000 miles on it.
Yeah, barely broken in. We get to North Bend and stop at a cafe to buy some sandwiches and coffee. And then Lou drives out of town and takes a dirt road that winds through the trees. Finally, the road ends at a little unpaved parking area.
Not too many people use this road, mostly Forest Service. Okay, now you take the poles on our lunches, and I'll carry the tackle and bait boxes. Ready to hike?
Sure. Which way are we going?
We're gonna take a shortcut through the woods. Come on.
How'd you ever find this place?
Oh, a few years ago, I was part of a search and rescue team that was looking for a downed plane.
They ever find it?
Nah, never did. They figured it probably went into a lake. You know, some lakes in the Cascades are 1,000 feet deep. Okay, now, the forest's closing in, and the trail will get some slippery spots because the sunlight doesn't get down here through the trees much, except in the middle of the summer. We'll come out into the sunshine when we get down to the river.
We tramp along through ferns and stuff for another quarter hour or so. Then the path starts climbing.
The river's just over this little hill. Watch your steps, pretty slick in places.
This little hill is steep enough to make my knees want to go on strike. Now, at last we reach the top. And there below us is the river, wild and crystal clear, running bank to bank. We half walk and half slide down to where our trail meets one that runs along the riverbank.
Now, if we turn left and go north along the river, we get into higher country and more trees. If we go right, the trees thin out as we follow the river down to a bridge just above Falls City. Yeah, I think the north way's a lot prettier.
Well, then let's go north. Whoa, you really do know your stuff, don't you?
Like I say, I've been up here before.
As we walk along the trail, he pulls a flour sack out of his jacket and starts to shake it open. What's that for?
Trash. We'll put our garbage in it when we're done eating.
You must have been a Boy Scout.
Yeah, I was a scout. Made Eagle, in fact. Yeah, if you're nice, I'll show you my merit badges sometime.
We hike slowly through the morning, not saying a whole lot, till all of a sudden Lou stops in his tracks and stares at something beside the river. What you got?
Come here. First, I thought someone had just dumped some clothes.
That's a body.
He was shot.
You think it was a hunting accident?
I don't know. Hey, help me turn him over.
You think we should wait for the police?
What police? I am the police. Come on, you take that in.
He's been here a while.
Yeah, he's not too fresh.
Lou, there are 2 bullet wounds here.
Yeah, so much for the hunting accident theory.
What do you want to do now?
How much we can do.
No, I mean, gotta report it.
I'll report it.
I hate to just, leave him here. We don't even know who he is. Gotta find that out. I'm gonna look for his wallet.
Be my guest. You better hold your breath.
All right, got it. Oh my gosh, you know who this is? This is Floyd Dishman, the missing city councilman. What do you suppose he was doing up here?
How would I know? Hey, wasn't he supposed to be downtown announcing which contractor made the low bid on building the city hall?
Yeah, I read something about that. Hey.
What?
You see where the body was lying before we rolled him over?
Yeah.
Well, if he was shot twice in the chest, there ought to be a lot of blood under there. But I don't see any at all.
If he was shot 2 days ago, the blood would have had time to soak into the ground and dry.
I don't think so. Look, let me take my pocket knife and dig up some of the dirt. Well, nothing but ordinary dirt. Which means he didn't bleed out here. He was shot and bled out somewhere else.
Oh, come on. You have to make a mystery out of everything. How could a guy take 2 slugs in his chest, lose most of his blood, and then walk over here by the river to die?
He didn't. Whoever shot him must have moved him here.
Now, why would he do that?
Well, I have no idea.
Let me see his wallet, huh?
Here.
That's what I thought. Dishman was rich, right? But there's no money in his wallet.
You're saying you think he was killed for his money?
Well, everyone knows he was loaded.
So, the bandit shoots him twice, steals his money, then he puts his wallet back and drags the body away from the crime scene? Why?
What does it matter? What I have to do now is get back to my truck and get to a phone and call us in.
I think we ought to have a look around and see if we can find where he was shot.
Will you please just leave it alone? Do I have to remind you that you are not the police detective here?
Hey, take it easy, Lou.
Come on, we gotta get back to the truck.
Okay. Look, why don't you go on ahead? I'll nose around here and see you when you get back with the ME.
I'm not leaving you out here. There are bears around, you know. Now, come on.
If you're worried about bears, leave me your gun. I know you brought it. I saw the bulge in your jacket.
You know the rules. No civilian is allowed to handle a police weapon.
Only that isn't a police weapon, is it? A Regulation 38 with a 4-inch barrel wouldn't fit into your pocket.
Harry, I'm not going to stand here arguing with you.
Then take off. I'll see you when you get back.
You are the stubbornest, stupidest, poor excuse for a gumshoe I've ever seen.
Hey, while we're standing here, we could be looking for any sign of the shooter. Come on, I'm going up the trail a ways.
I ought to leave you out here.
Fine.
What are you looking for?
Just backtracking Dishman's heel marks. Taylor had some reason to move him. He had to drag him, but Dishman was fairly heavy, so he wouldn't have been dragged very far. I've stepped in some blood. A lot of blood. This must be where he fell after he was shot. Sometime later, he was dragged away and left beside the river.
Why? For what reason?
There's only one I can think of. So he could be found.
Oh, that's crazy. A killer doesn't want his victim to be found. Now where are you going?
I'm just wondering if there's any sign of the guy who killed him. Come here, Lou. Look what I found under the trees. Another dead guy. Oh, he took one in the back of the head.
All right, Harry, now I'm telling you, leave it for the police. Come on back with me, we'll find a phone and get some help out here, but I can't let you wander around a crime scene.
It'd be a shame if one of those bears you mentioned should find the body. I mean, they could really mess up your crime scene. Look, help me turn this poor guy over. And look what's under him. A neat little automatic. I wonder if this is the one that shot Dishman.
I'm warning you, Harry. We're friends and all, but you're taking the law into your own hands, and I can't let you do it.
Holy smoke, he's got an exit wound that blew his whole face off. Let's see what's in his pockets.
Stop it, Harry. Stop it right there. You've already broken half a dozen laws, and I can't let you get into any deeper trouble.
Oh, so that's your gun. Oh, that's a neat little heater, Lou. What is it, a snub-nose 38? That 2-inch barrel isn't exactly police issue, is it?
Don't play funny with me, Harry. Back away from the body.
You want to know who he was?
I'll let the homicide boys handle that.
Well, you didn't object to my finding Floyd Dishman's ID. Oh, wait a minute. Lou, I apologize all over the place. I just realized why you don't want me meddling with these killings. You don't want to share the credit for solving the case. Relax. I won't say a word.
You lost your mind. You think I'm worried about you, a small-time PI? Look, this isn't some comic book caper. I'm in charge here, and I got a victim, and now I got a perp, and you happen to be along for the ride, so that's it. So back off.
Yeah, but the perp is also a victim, which means someone shot him. Now, with 2 men dead, how are you going to figure out who shot who?
The lab can figure it out. I've done my work.
You know, I have an idea. If we can find out who this dead guy is, it may tell us what really went down here. Let's look at his ID. Do I have your permission, or do you want to get his wallet? No, I guess I better do it since you're busy holding the gun on me. Yeah, here it is. You want to look at it? Oh, sure you do. It's your case. Here you go.
You really are a smart ass, aren't you? All right, give it here.
Well?
His driver's license said his name is Richard Landos. His residence is in Boston, Mass. Born 1927.
So, he was only 30. Wonder what he was doing out here. What's his name again?
Richard Landos.
Landos. Didn't I read somewhere that one of the big outfits that's bidding on the City Hall job is Landos Construction out of Boston?
So?
Don't you see the connection here, Lou? If Richard Landos represents one of the 3 companies that submitted final bids, and the final selection was supposed to be made by Floyd Dishman, this thing has to involve money. A lot of money.
Everything involves money, Harry.
Yeah, but what I can't figure out is why these 2 guys were way up here in the mountains. Was Dishman tipping off Landos that his bid was going to win? Or was Landos up here to hand Dishman a bribe to make sure his bid was going to win? Something went wrong. Why was he shot twice in the chest? And why was Landos shot and killed?
Harry, there are some things you're never gonna find out, and this is one of them. All right, Harry, you going back to the truck?
No, you go. I'm staying here.
The devil you are.
What law am I breaking if I stay here?
You'll be tampering with evidence, polluting the crime scene.
You don't know that.
Yeah, I know you.
Well, let's see. If I go back to town with you, you won't want me sharing the glory and the honor of finding 2 dead guys. If I stay here while you fetch the boys in blue, you think I might start tampering with the evidence. Yeah. I guess the only safe thing for you to do is to shoot me too.
We're wasting time, Harry. Come on.
In fact, here's the thought. You could tell the chief of detectives that I was the one who shot both of these guys before you shot me in self-defense. Gee, I could be posthumously famous.
Are you through wisecracking?
Are you through lying to me?
What'd you say?
You've been lying to me, Lou. You lied about why you wanted to bring me up here to walk along a river. You positioned Dishman's corpse along the trail yourself, where I was supposed to discover it.
Oh, you're crazy.
Then I saw his body had been moved after he was killed, and then I found the body of Richard Landos, dead of a shot in the back of his head by a hollow point bullet. Who killed Dishman?
Landos!
Then who shot Landos? Couldn't have been Dishman. He had 2 slugs in his chest. So, was there a third shooter up here with a gun loaded with hollow points? I'll tell you what could have happened. Dishman, rich as he may have been, accepted a bribe from Landos and Company to name them as the winning bidder in that $12 million City Hall project. The payoff was supposed to go down in this remote area where there was no danger of being seen, but something went wrong, and Landos killed Dishman. Had to be a third person up here, and after Landos shot Dishman, the third guy showed himself and ordered Landos to drop the gun and put his hands up. But Landos broke and ran, and the third man drew his own gun and fired after him. Yeah. You were that third man, Lou.
Okay, for the sake of argument, Harry, why would I have been up here in the woods witnessing the whole thing? And where would I get hollow-nosed bullets, huh? You want to check my gun? I'll crack open the cylinder. Huh? Nothing but standard .38 caliber cartridges.
Of course. You wouldn't have used a snub-nosed .38 to shoot a fleeing man. They're only accurate over a short range.
Correct.
So there had to be another gun loaded with hollow point bullets.
You know, you're pretty good, Harry. All right, I'm going to tell you exactly what happened. 3 days ago, I got a call from Mr. Dishman.
Detective, I have some very unpleasant news to share with you.
What is it, Councilman?
As you know, I head the committee to select the contracting firm to build our new city hall.
Yeah, I do know that.
We've narrowed the bids to 3 and notified these 3 that one of them will be the winner of the contract.
Yeah?
Well, first thing this morning, I got a call from one of them, an excellent firm with a long track record.
Uh-huh.
The young man on the phone offered me a bribe to select his company. A $10,000 bribe.
Huh. So what did you tell him?
I stalled him until I could report it. Now, what do you want me to do? Tomorrow's the day I have to announce the winning company.
I take it the bribe didn't come from the winning company.
As a matter of fact, it did. From the son of the owner.
Well, then I worked out a plan and called Dishman back and coached him on where to meet and what to do. I gave him a little mic to clip to his undershirt and hooked him up to a little tape recorder that looked like a pack of king-size cigarettes to go in his pocket. Well, then I hid in the bushes, ready to arrest Landos as soon as he hands over the bribe, and we'd have it all on tape.
Mr. Dishman, Rick Landos, it's a pleasure to meet you.
Mr. Landos, do you have the money we agreed on?
Am I supposed to know what you're talking about?
Oh, please. Let's get down to business. I don't have all day.
Okay. We understand the deal, right? Landos Construction wins the contract.
Correct.
You look kind of nervous, Mr. Dishman.
Just hand over the money so we can finish with this.
Okay, sure. Here you go.
Oh, just a minute. Damn it.
Hey, what are you doing? What is that? You're wearing a wire!
Of course, I'll never know exactly what happened, but when Dishman reached for the package of money, he must have felt the mic was slipping or something, and when he tried to adjust it, Landos pulled a gun and fired at him, and the bullet struck the recorder. Dishman was still on his feet. Well, I jumped out and hollered to Landos to drop his gun, and he fired a second time. And that one finished Dishman. Well, then Landos took off on the run and fired at me, but he missed.
And you fired a hollow point round at him and caught him in the back of the head.
That's right.
What happened to the bribe money?
It's locked in an evidence box at headquarters.
By the way, who emptied Mr. Dishman's wallet?
Well, you took it off his body. I never touched it. Now you're going to answer some questions. When'd you get suspicious?
This morning, back in my office. I was never convinced that you invited me to come up into the mountains just for my health. So I was waiting to see what the gag was when we just happened to discover Dishman's body. What were the odds of your just happening to pick a place to stop for our picnic that was barely 30 feet from where the body was?
Hey, you never heard of coincidence?
Yeah, I don't believe in coincidence. You needed me to find the body so there'd be no question about your story, and you needed a reliable witness to back you up. Why would a police detective need to be backed up by a private eye? And what made you think I'd go for it?
Because you owe me.
I owe you? For what?
For March of 1950, when I took you out of harm's way and gave you a start up here. I found you a nice place to live. I gave you your first case. Remember the judge who was pushed out of a plane?
Okay. Look, did you murder either Dishman or Landos?
Of course not. Landos killed Dishman, which I witnessed, and I shot Landos after he shot at me. Knowing I'm a cop. Now, all I need for you is to corroborate that, if they ask you, which they probably won't. I'm a commissioned police detective, and you... well, you're Harry Nile.
You have heard A Trail to a Corpse, written and produced by Jim French, directed by Pat French, and starring Larry Albert as Harry Nile, with Pat French as Murphy. Our special guest star was Stephen Waite, who played Detective Lou Butterfield. This drama is copyrighted by Jim French Productions. This is Jay Green speaking. The Adventures of Harry Nile.
Harry Nile Investigations, this is Murphy. And who shall I say is calling? Mr. Chambers? 1 minute, please. Harry, it's a Robert Chambers for you.
Robert Chambers? Do I know a Robert Chambers? Yes, Mr. Chambers, this is Harry Nile. How can I help you?
Well, I think I need a private investigator. Now, your ad in the Yellow Pages says you do all kinds of investigating.
That's right. What do you need?
Well, first I need to know what you charge.
Well, that depends on what kind of case it is. For dangerous cases, I have to charge more.
Oh, no, this won't be dangerous. I just want you to investigate someone who works for me, but he mustn't find out. Can you do that?
Has this guy been stealing from you?
No, nothing like that. What I need you to do is find out what's made him change.
I don't think I get you.
The man has changed. Completely changed overnight.
In what way?
He's like a different person. One day he was joking and full of fun like he always was, and the next day I couldn't get a smile out of him to save my life. His whole personality has changed, and it's costing me money.
How's that?
Well, he's a car salesman, and I'm his sales manager, and he used to be our #1 producer month after month. He'd average 15 to 20 sales a month, regular as clockwork, and the customers loved him. He was as funny as Red Skelton, and he knew how to sell Studebakers, let me tell you. And then a month ago, he came into the dealership, and he was a different man. No more jokes, no more stories, and all this month he sold exactly 1 car.
Well, this sounds like a medical problem.
No, he says he feels fine, but there's got to be an explanation for this. So I came up with the idea of hiring a private detective. Now, can we talk money for a minute?
All right. I get a $100 retainer up front, $50 a day plus expenses, and another $100 if I show results.
Boy, you're talking some real dough there.
Yeah, well, I found out the banks won't take monopoly money.
It seriously is that as low as you can go?
Afraid so.
Well, how soon could you begin?
I can start today. You happen to catch me between cases.
The sooner the better. We're on Aurora Avenue
68th. Green Lake Motors. Just ask for Bob.
It is fall in the year 1959, and the Harry Nile Detective Agency continues to be one of Seattle's smallest, consisting of Harry and his associate Murphy. But being of diminutive size is no handicap for Harry's business. With modest rent and only 2 mouths to feed, or 3 if you include Magruder the cat, he can afford to offer low rates and lots of personal service, which is about to come in handy in this, the strange case of Harvey Flax.
Yes, I'm Bob Chambers, and you would be...
Harry Nile. You phoned me an hour ago?
Oh, yes. Great. Thanks for coming over. By the way, before we get down to business, how would you like to take a test drive in our new compact, the Studebaker Lark? Like this one here in the showroom. Big car space and comfort, small car economy. And now that gas is up to 30 cents a gallon, you'll save money every mile you drive.
Not right now, thanks.
You know, they say by 1960, just a year from now, gas could hit 35 cents a gallon. Yeah, well, we can talk about that later. Come on into my office. Take a seat, Mr. Nile. Can I call you Harry?
Sure.
And just call me Bob. Here, have one of my cards.
Okay, and here, have one of mine.
Thanks. Now, I'll try and fill you in on our problem with Harvey. Harvey Flax was our top salesman up until a month ago.
And what happened?
His whole personality changed. He used to be a barrel of fun. Always had some kind of joke to pull. Or he'd tell you some amazing story with a perfectly straight face, and then you'd realize he was pulling your leg. Our sales meetings were a riot. I tried to conduct business, but first we had to get our morning comedy show. All right. Now, simmer down, fellas. The factory wants us to ship more trucks, but we've still got 659s on the lot. So, here's what I'm going to do. I'm paying a $50 spiff on every truck you sell over and above your commission.
But, Bob, don't you know if we keep selling them darn things, they'll just keep building more of them.
Yeah, okay. All I'm saying is, for a dealership our size, 6 trucks are too much inventory for this late in the model year.
Maybe nobody even knows Studebaker makes trucks.
What a card. Yeah, Flax was top dog, and customers loved him. He'd get them to sign a contract while they still had tears in their eyes from laughing so hard. And around the office, he was a one-man USO show. Great for morale. And there are times in this business when we could use a little morale.
Yeah, well, tell me about what happened when he changed.
Well, it was a Monday morning, the 1st of October. Harvey was a little late for our sales meeting, so when he walked into the room, we all thought he had something up his sleeve to pull on us. And Hoagie Jones, well, he's one of our salesmen, was the first one to get him started.
Hey, here he is now. Hi, Harv. Have a big weekend? Have a big weekend? Oh, you're supposed to say no thanks. I just had one.
Poor Hoagie.
What are you cooking up, Harv?
I'm not cooking anything, Bob.
No, come on. You're setting us up for something.
You feeling okay, Harv?
I feel perfectly normal.
Okay, I got one for you. It seems that Ike and Mamie were paddling the canoe down the Potomac.
Don't tell jokes, Flash. That's Harvey's job. Go ahead, Harv. Give us one joke, and then we'll start the meeting.
I've got no jokes.
What's going on? Well, I tried to find out what was the matter with him. I figured he was sick, or he'd had some bad news or something. But when I'd ask him what was wrong, he'd clam up.
Where's his family?
Well, they're all in Ireland.
Well, how's he doing financially?
Well, like I say, he's been our top salesman every month until this last month.
Where is he right now?
It's his day off.
All right, I'll need his home address and phone number.
Sure, I'll get him for you.
And it would be better if no one else in the store knows you've hired me.
Well, Hoagie and Flash already know because the boys are pitching in to help pay your fee.
I don't know, Murph. Maybe they should have called in an MD instead of a PI. I don't know if I can do any good.
But you don't know that you can't do any good. And you haven't even met Mr. Flax. For all you know, you'll spot his problem immediately. Hey, keep positive thoughts, Harry.
Gee, thanks, Coach.
Do you have a plan?
Have a plan. Well, how's this sound? I'll let Flax sell me a car. That way, he won't suspect I'm investigating him. He'll think I'm a customer.
But you're not really going to buy a car, are you?
Are you kidding? Of course not. Now, I'll arrange it with Bob so it'll look like a real sale, only no money will actually change hands.
Well, then what'll happen to the car you pretend to buy?
There'll be no car. It won't be built. You see, I'll deliberately order a model they don't have in stock. So they'll have to order it from the factory, and it'll take weeks before it's assembled and shipped out here. Only the factory will never actually get this order because Bob won't send it to him. And anyway, by the time Flax begins to wonder what happened to the car he thought he sold me, I'll have cleared up the mystery. See?
Explain something to me.
Yeah?
Why couldn't you pretend to buy a car that they already have there on the lot?
No, you see, that wouldn't work. If I did that, Flax could deliver the car to me right away. And if I didn't take possession of it, he'd get suspicious. Now, the only way this can work is if the sale is just on paper.
And will Mr. Flax's commission be on paper, too?
Well, that'll be up to Bob, his boss.
Oh, poor Mr. Flax.
Next morning, I call Bob Chambers and tell him my plan. And he okays it and says he'll fix it so Flax will be the salesman who waits on me. Later, when I walk into the showroom, 3 salesmen jump up, ready to charge. But Bob, now he's the only one who knows who I really am, says, "Harvey's up," and the others sit back down again and watch. They watch as a tall, somber-looking gent walks slowly over to me. All I can think of is, he's either an undertaker or he needs one.
Good morning, sir. My name is Harvey Flax. How may I help you?
Well, I'm thinking about buying a car.
I see. Do you know much about our products?
No, not a whole lot.
Then take this brochure. It has pictures and specifications of all our cars. When you've picked out the one you want, just let me know. I'll be around.
Back so soon? Did you meet Mr. Flax?
Oh, yeah, I met him.
Well,
he's about as dynamic as oatmeal.
But did you let him sell you a car?
Sell me? All he did was give me a brochure and told me to pick out the one I liked. So I wrote him a check for a black Studebaker Lark because Bob told me they don't have black ones in stock right now.
You wrote a check? For how much?
Murphy, it doesn't matter. Bob's not going to deposit it. He's probably already torn it up by now.
Harry, how much was it for?
$2,300 and change. But what doesn't matter? What matters is now I can get close to Flax without arousing his suspicion. See, if he's play acting, well, I can do that too.
You wrote a worthless check for $2,300 and change? Our bank balance as of this morning is at $189.
Murphy, nobody will ever see the check except Harvey Flax, who forwards it to Bob Chambers, and Chambers is in on the plan, and he'll tear it up.
Oh. Harry Nile Investigations. Who may I say is calling? Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Just hold the line, please. It's Harvey Flax.
Oh, great. And you just told him I'm a private detective.
Well, how was I supposed to answer the phone? Sorry, wrong number.
Oh, give it here. Yes, Mr. Flax, this is Harry Nile.
I hope I'm not interrupting an investigation, Mr. Nile.
No, we're just sitting around. What can I do for you?
I've done something for you. I have some wonderful news for you, Mr. Nile.
Yeah, I thought you sounded a little giddy. What's the news?
The car you had us order from the factory today.
Yeah, what about it?
And you recall it would take 3 weeks to get here?
Yes.
I've made some phone calls, and I found the very model and color you wanted, a black 4-door Lark sedan at the Studebaker dealer in Everett.
You did?
Yes. Yes, so we traded him one of our trucks for it and brought it down to our dealership, and it's here as we speak. And it's ready for you to take delivery. If you'll pardon my enthusiasm, Mr. Nile. Lucky you.
Bob, I've got to talk to you.
Sure, Harry. Come on in and close the door. What's up?
Flax just presented me with the keys to a new Studebaker he found up in Everett.
Yes, I just heard about that. I'm sorry for the mix-up, but I was at a Rotary Club luncheon when all this happened.
Well, what I need to know is what happened to that bum check I gave him.
Oh, well, I still have it right here on my, That's funny. Where is that check? Johnny, did you see a check for $23.14 on my desk?
Oh, I drove right over to the bank in my lunch hour and deposited all the checks that were on your desk. That's what you told me to do, isn't it, Dad?
Yes, Johnny, that's what I told you to do. Well, I'm sorry, Harry. Not much I can do now.
As soon as that check gets to my bank, it's going to bounce higher than the Smith Tower. In all this confusion, I haven't spent much time trying to learn whether Harvey Flax's change of personality is real or fake. And if it's fake, what's he trying to pull? That's what I was hired to find out, but so far, all I've done is buy a car I didn't want with money I didn't have. And just when I thought things couldn't get any worse...
Harry, have you thought about depreciation?
Depreciation?
While you were at the Studebaker store, I thought I'd check on something.
Oh, well, do me a favor, Murphy. Don't use the word check.
All right. I did a little investigating, and this car you didn't really buy is now worth about $500 less than what you didn't really pay.
Well, how come? I haven't driven it a foot. I haven't even sat in it.
But it has been titled in your name, so it can't be sold for new, because technically it is now a used car.
Oh, why didn't I think of that?
Because you've never bought a new car.
No, and I didn't mean to buy this one, so I'm just going to turn it back to Bob Chambers.
Along with $500 to cover the depreciation?
After dinner that night, I pick up the trail of Harvey Flax. Bob gave me his home address, so I drove over to his place and parked where I can see through his front window. From what I can see through my field glasses, the furniture includes a television set, which is tuned to the Red Skelton show, which is almost over. As the big CBSI comes on, a tall man walks over to the set and turns it off. I figure that's my cue to pay Mr. Flax a visit. Mr. Flax, Harry Nile, I hope I'm not disturbing you.
What can I do for you, Mr. Nile?
Well, I wanted to ask a few questions, if that's all right.
Questions about your new car?
Well, yes and no.
And they couldn't wait until tomorrow?
Well, I suppose they could, only I thought you'd be more comfortable answering them away from your job.
What a curious thought, Mr. Nile. Please come in. Sit anywhere you like.
Thanks.
May I offer you something to drink?
No thanks. This isn't exactly a social call.
I see. Then what sort of call is it?
You already found out I'm a private detective.
Obviously.
And that I didn't really intend to buy a car.
Also, obviously, just what did you intend, Mr. Nile?
Your sales manager hired me to find out what made you change from being a funny guy who could charm people into buying cars into, well, kind of a guy you are now.
What kind of guy am I?
A guy who sold only one car in a month and never cracks a smile. Bob Chambers is worried about you.
Bob Chambers is worried about making money. That's what he's worried about.
Yeah, well, that too. But he tells me your personality changed overnight. And he wonders what could cause such a big change so suddenly. He says he asked you about it and you didn't explain.
And what makes you think I would explain it to you?
Well, frankly, I didn't think he would explain it to me, and I told that to Bob. But he wanted me to try anyway, so here I am.
Yes. Here you are.
Well, is there anything you can tell me?
Where would you like me to begin?
Okay. Which is your normal personality, the Joker or the,
gloomy Gus?
Yeah. Bob says you're like two different people.
And well, he might. When he hired me, he hired a salesman who had one card to play, the comedian. And if I do say so myself, I played it quite well. People like to laugh. And if you make someone laugh, that person will remember you and hopefully buy what you're selling.
Okay.
And so Harvey Flax, the comedian, sold a great many cars and made his employer a great deal of money. And after a year of this, the comedian came to his boss and asked for a bit more money in his pay envelope and was turned down.
Ah, I get it now. Instead of quitting, you decided to show Bob what he was missing when you stopped being funny.
Not exactly. I continued coming to work every day, spreading mirth and selling Studebakers. But I hadn't had a vacation yet, and Bob kept promising me he'd give me some time off, but he never did. It was then that I put away the clown and introduced the curmudgeon.
How long are you going to keep playing the character?
Playing? How do you know the curmudgeon isn't the real Harvey Flax?
Then the funny guy is just an act?
Perhaps. Or it could be the other way around, couldn't it?
Yeah, I see what you're doing. Well, thanks for your time, Mr. Flax. I think I've got all the information Bob Chambers wanted.
Oh, you have? And what will you tell him?
I'll tell him if he wants the comedian back again, he better give you the raise and vacation you deserve.
You would tell him that?
It's the truth, isn't it?
Yes. And now there's something I've been meaning to give you. I've been carrying it around all day. Take it. It's yours.
My check! My bum check for $2,300 and change! Wow, man, you're amazing. How did you get it away from the bank?
Never got to the bank. Since I knew what you were up to, I purloined the check from Chambers' desk, where he had left it with some other checks.
Oh, man, you have taken a load off my mind. I can't thank you enough. But what'll happen to that pretty little black Studebaker?
Oh, I'm sure the comedian will have no trouble selling it.
Uh-huh. And when will you swap the curmudgeon for the comedian again?
I'll make the arrangements directly. You can tell Bob that you've solved the mystery.
Make the arrangements? What arrangements are those?
Change my personality. I can't do it overnight. When I play the curmudgeon every day for a month, I have to get back in practice to become the comedian again.
Okay. And I'll talk to Bob and see if he'll reconsider your raise.
And vacation.
And vacation.
Well, that's all well and good, but I'm plenty ticked off at Harvey, deliberately driving customers away to get what he wants from me. I've got half a mind to let him go.
Yeah, but if you fire the curmudgeon, you also fire the comedian.
And if I keep him, anytime he wants more money, he'll pull the same trick again. He thinks he's got me over a barrel. Well, I've got something up my sleeve, too.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to tell him I don't want to see his face around here for a solid month. And when he comes back to work, he'll find a raise in his paycheck.
Boy, you really know how to hurt a guy.